saying like we should troll. Never
well,
mind.
here we go. I mean, we're live. Hi, everyone. It's me again. It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Welcome. I'm Ethan Van Skyver. I got Nasser here with me. Oh, how does this sounds like garbage. I gotta put the microphone in front of me.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we got Nasser here. Hey, all right. Let me pull up the chat somewhere. Yeah, I gotta get used to this new system, Nasser. I'm not so sure I like it very much. I'm not sure I like this new system.
What do you dislike about it?
I don't like that I have to look over here. You see this? This is where all my iPads are. Bank of iPads. I gotta look over here to see what's going on these iPads. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of head craning. It's a lot of head craning. I want to apologize to everybody who was waiting here. Basically, I set up this live chat, and Andrea came down and we were just talking for a long time. I finally put Ava to bed for a nap, and so now I can finally get with you guys. Spotty says, iPads, ew. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that way. I'm kind of feeling a little bit like, ew, iPads at this point. LOL, those Beats by Dre, Ethan, you like to pay overpriced. Are they overpriced? Tilt the mic back as if it's looking up at you. Is this not right? And Nasser, all they do is criticize me all day.
That's
long.
how I have mine. I'll put the camera.
It's really.
I have mine on. You have yours. That's how mine's tilted.
I don't want to be the only one on camera at all times. All right, we have a special guest with us today. I'm adding someone. I'm adding someone to ComicsGate Live. Now, just because you're on ComicsGate Live doesn't mean you're not ComicsGate. You can be ComicsGate if you want. Just say you're ComicsGate. There's a lot of confusion about this. People are confused about what ComicsGate is. They're like, I keep sending my stuff to Ethan and he ignores it. Well, if you saw my inbox, you would be like, what the holy hell? I go through it and it's like, about a third of it is people saying, you are trash, and then blocking me real quick, stuff like that. And then the other third of it is from people that I don't know who are like commenting on, on the show a little bit. And those are nice. I'll read those. I can respond to a few of them. And then the other third might be people who are looking to, get my attention with the projects that they're doing. It's hard. It's a lot of work, staying on top of things and making sure that people are getting, my eyes on the stuff that they're sending me. That's important to me. I do want people to, if they want to talk to me, they need to be able to talk to me. I'm going to move this iPad right here so I can actually see that chat.
Somebody in the chat says I'm overcompensating with that mic. I don't know what that means.
Let me see that mic. How come you turned off your thing?
I don't like having the camera on. It's the same mic as yours. Mine's just black.
Oh, you got a black Blue Yeti?
Yep.
That's badass. Okay, I want to introduce Ben Jones. Ben Jones is here. Now, I'm meeting him for the first time, too. Ben Jones does a book called Asgard. It's on Indiegogo right now. Basically, Ben is here right now because I just want to meet him. This isn't official. Like we're not promoting anyone yet. I just want to find out about Ben Jones. Ben, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. What the hell? What are you looking at there? Like, what's your image?
That's crawfish.
Are they still alive?
No, sir. Those are good eating. My family's from Louisiana. We're all Cajun, so crawfish is like one of our little delicacies that we have.
Is that a photo? It looks like a painting. It looks like an Alex Ross painting of you eating crawfish. And
it does, actually.
Alive. Yeah, well, look. All right, let me see here. Get this going. Okay, good. My wife and I, we go to this Greek restaurant all the time. Okay, and this is a thing that we can do once every other month because it's very, very expensive. We'll go to this Greek restaurant, and they have langoustines. And langoustines are like crawfish, but they're a little bit bigger. They're like in between jumbo shrimp and lobsters. Okay, and what they do is these Greeks, they sit there and they grill these langoustines. They split them open. They smother them in lemon and butter. They are incredible. They cost, I think it's like $30 a pound, and a pound is maybe 4 of these things. and you eat them really quick. I mean, you know, I could eat 20 pounds of these things. I would never stop. If you kept putting more and more langoustines in front of me, I would never stop eating langoustines. And Andrea is the same way. So we'll go there, and it's like we order like 5 pounds of them, and they bring an enormous tray of langoustines out. We just like nom, 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 nom. Terrible.
Yeah. With our crawfish, man, we just throw them on a picnic table outside, and you know, we'll go through several hundreds of pounds in the family just eating crawfish all day.
Oh, it's so good. Crawfish are so good, man.
I've actually never tried it.
It's like a mini lobster.
Do you like seafood?
Not really, but I've had lobster before.
Seafood is the best thing in the world. Lobster is my favorite thing to eat, but I guess, swear to God, these langoustines, these Greeks know how to cook. They know how to cook, these Greeks. It's all lemon, and then they'll put like, they put cinnamon in
the rice.
Tomato sauce. Well, in the rice too, but cinnamon is this Greek kind of thing where cinnamon's in everything. If you make pasta, if you make like rigatonis and a nice sauce, and then you add cinnamon to it, I'm like, what the hell is this? It's so good. Now I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna take Andrea out for langoustines.
If we have a ComicsGate cookout, then Ben and Antonio are in charge of cooking, it seems.
Oh yeah. Ben, yeah, can you cook?
Yeah. Just last weekend, for my wife's birthday, I cooked a big pot of gumbo for her, and
Gumbo.
And now my coworkers are asking for a crawfish and shrimp etouffee. So
Where do you live? Are you in Louisiana?
No, currently I live in New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gumbo. That's interesting. Antonio Bryce caught my attention because, listen, they'll tell you in this chat all I talk about and all I think about is food. I'm trying to lose weight, and so I'm off of pie. You know, I don't have any pie, and I haven't had pie for 15 days. Now, Ben, I'm somebody who will eat an entire pie with my bare hands. I'll pick up a pie, like a calzone, like literally you pick it up, picture a pie like this size, and then you just like, that's how I eat a pie. All right. And I have not had a pie. In 15 or I think it's been 16 days now. I think it's been 16 days. But you know, I definitely like to talk about food, and I definitely like to eat, especially good food. I don't want to, if I'm going to have the calories, I'm not going to eat McDonald's. I'm going to have something good, you know, something good. JP4, thanks for $5. Thanks for giving me something to listen to at work. Hey, brother, thanks for tuning in to us. We appreciate it. We love you guys very much. Yeah, I just thought I'd put this thing on in the afternoon. 312 people watching now. You know, I think I kind of pissed people off because I you know, turned the chat out. I sent the bat signal out and then sat here and talked to Andrea for like an hour. So people were like, is he ever coming on? Yeah, Ben. So this guy, Antonio Bryce, he does a comic called Brand.
Correct.
He caught my attention because he made a video where he's sitting there cooking gumbo and talking about watching ComicsGate live. I'm like, how about if I just join you eating the gumbo and watching ComicsGate live? Except you know, then there wouldn't have been a show.
So Ethan, how long has it been since you've had pie?
It's been 16 days. Now,
16 minutes, you mean?
No. I haven't had any pie. I would let you know. When
Ethan, I can see the crumbs right now in your beard.
There's no crumbs in my beard. Not at all. I'm exquisitely groomed. But listen, no. When I fall off the pie wagon, and I'm not saying that I won't fall off the pie wagon. I'm not. When I do fall off the pie wagon, I will let you guys know, and I will, believe me, it'll be an event. You know, it'll be like I'll live stream that. I'll be like, I'm eating a lemon meringue right now. I'll let you guys see. We'll have lemon meringue pie together. You know, it's like, why would I just do that? You know, people, you're a secret eater. Are you kidding me? No way. No, not a chance. I'll eat right in front of you guys. I will eat a pie right in front of you. But I'm not doing it now. It's just
so what is your favorite pie?
That's a great question. If I could have a pie right now, it'd be lemon meringue. And I actually had a dream last night. I don't know why pie is a big deal now, but it is. Probably because when you deny yourself something, you think about it a lot. I had a dream last night, and it was a stupid dream. Somebody sent me a bunch of Hostess pies. Okay, a fan sent me a crate of Hostess pies. You know, they're apple pies. I'm not going to eat those. But in my dream, I dreamt that they were Hostess lemon pies. And those I would eat. You know, I would have a lemon Hostess pie. And I actually Amazoned them. I looked them up on Amazon. They didn't have them. They had fake. They had bootleg. They had like the bootleg Hostess lemon pie, but not like the real Hostess. Not the real deal. Not the one.
What kind of pie would Lex Luthor eat?
Hey Ben Hennessy, how are you doing, my friend?
I am a little tired, but I'm good. A little sleepy though.
Yeah. We listen. First of all, you're Ben number 2 now because we've got Ben Jones now. Ben Jones is here. I'm getting to know Ben Jones. He lives in New Mexico. He cooks. He's a cook. He's a good cook. And he has a comic book called Asgard. We're going to find out all about this.
I love it. I backed it. I pushed it. It's a cool story. I'm B. Hennessy. That's my nickname, right? Keep it easy.
Oh, I got you, man. I've been watching you.
Yeah, you too, man. Remember, yeah, we were going back and forth.
What were you guys going back and forth about? Were you fighting about things?
It's a cool story. I like it. I'm a big, my Off-Worlder story that's coming out in October is very Norse. It's very Celtic in mythology and the supernatural elements of it that kind of interweaves with the sci-fi side of myself. So that's coming out October. I'm looking forward to Asgard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out about Asgard myself.
Yeah, Ben sent me a PDF of it. The art is beautiful. He's another artist that I'm gonna have to harass to work with me eventually.
That's great. I got a lot of projects coming up too. Our 2019 slate, we're releasing at least 6 new titles in 2019 from our caution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, Ben, do you write or draw Asgard?
I do both.
Oh, all right, well, that's good. That's good. We need more auteurs. We got Nasser is a dime a dozen. And we got lots of Nassers in the world, right, Nasser? Like Nasser just writes, and he needs an artist, all the time. It's a big problem for him. He's got to find artists. But when you can do it all yourself, that's a big deal. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. You don't need anybody. You don't need people.
No, you don't. But, it does cut out the collaborative aspect that normally comics is part of. But this is my story, what I wanted to do. So it just worked better for me to be able to do my story, draw it the way I want to draw it, write it the way I want to write it. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it ends up being, it's still mine. I can't say that anybody caused anything else, good or bad.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. All right, so Ethereus Fox, thanks for $5, by the way. Hi, Nasser. I wanted to get in on Stardust, but I missed the end. Is there still some way to get in on it? Thanks.
You guys make me feel like I should reopen it like Ethan's doing. I'm going to have a few extra copies, and if you message me in late September, early October, I could just sell you one through PayPal.
That sounds like a good plan. All right, guys. So listen, we are the subject of, like, everybody's talking about us. Everybody is talking about us. These
Dude, I love it. I love it because they just put eyes on us, Ethan. I think you're gonna get another 100,000 for opening up Cyberfrog again.
I don't care, but I want people to have fun. I want people to read Cyberfrog. But this isn't about money. This is for me. I mean, at this point, it's like I don't know what is wrong with the comic book industry. I mean, I do. I know what's wrong, but I mean, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
I know
These guys take a premise, they invent a premise, and they run with it. I mean, this is called straw manning. This is that scene in The Wizard of Oz with the scarecrow dancing all around. I've never seen a straw man.
Yeah, I think they're mostly misinformed.
I think they're very scared. So what I felt the past 72 hours was like they're like animals backed into a corner. All right, doing everything they can to fight out of a corner because our comics are coming out and they can't control it anymore. They can't, it's going to be up to the customers to say if we're good or bad, not lies and slander and attacking people's businesses. That's not going to work anymore.
No, it's not going to work anymore. And that's the thing. I mean, now this really is, we've always said that, comic books should be a market-based, situation here. And we've said over and over again, when there's a monopoly, and there is a monopoly, SJWs control everything. SJWs control everything in comics, they thought, and therefore they were able to control what comics were, and how, people would have basically no choice. They had no alternatives. They had absolutely no alternatives under SJW dominated control. Now, I don't want to participate. I don't want to participate in that. There's no way around it. They're way too powerful. As I've said, I mean, whoever is the most powerful gets to kind of make the rules. They're the people who get to define who's being harassed, who's wrong, who's evil, who's good. I mean, they have the megaphone. They had the megaphone almost exclusively,
right,
until we came around.
Right.
And when we came around, things started to change a little bit. When we came around, we started to offer an alternative plan, an alternative way of producing your comic books, and perhaps a better way to make a living in comics. Now, so far, we have been extraordinarily successful. Ben 1 and Ben 2. We've been extraordinarily successful.
We're Ben squared.
Everything that we do just seems to be working. And now if we weren't successful, okay, if we weren't doing so well, do you think these people would be talking about us this way?
Not this way, and not the vitriol, and not the high level coordination of the attacks. That's my premise. And when we're getting to the point now where we can calculate, how much financial impact has been against Cautionary Comics. Now that's a different, it's a different world now. That we're at that point. It's coordinated. It's but I think they're afraid that they're losing the narrative, easily. And what they can't stand is that we're fighting back and calling BS. I mean, I've had Nasser, DJ, Black Cap on Twitter. Everybody's kicked in so far $1,000 just for evidence that we can take to the police that we are a hate group. Right. That's all. But it has
evidence. One, not to interrupt you, sorry, but I had made a thread where me and Ben were talking about how much we'd pay for evidence of us being a hate group, and I got a reply from that Renfamous person, and their proof of us being a hate group was Mike one time asking if she was trans.
Yeah. And I said, I'm not sure. I don't really care. It's not my. I don't know. I don't care about her. I call her. I say bleep hair. I don't know, but I don't care about crotches or what crotch they like. It's not my business. It's not my problem. What I do know is people. It's not homophobia or transphobia. People hate you. People hate you. If somebody hates Ben, it's not Ben phobia. If somebody hates Ben Henderson, Ben Jones, they don't hate you, Ben.
I think it is Ben phobia. Frankly, I think people who don't like Ben are Ben phobic.
They
don't know you. They don't know you, Ben. That's all it is. They need to get to know
you. Well, I've been very kind, Ethan. I've been.
I know you have.
Here's why. I offered them. They always say they want to punch a Nazi. They've been calling me Nazi all the time. A fun charity boxing match. Doesn't that sound?
I don't think there needs to be any of that.
So Ben Jones, what do you think of all this that's been going on in the last 2 or 3 days? It's been pretty wild.
Well, from the widow of Darn Cook, I know somebody sent me a message and was like, how do you feel about Ethan's comments toward Darn Cook's widow? And I had only seen some offshoot little comments, but I was like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. And I even kind of dug in, and the first thing I found was an Ethan apology to her. And I was like, so what are you guys talking about? And then they leave me alone.
Well,
so
I never apologized to her. That was
I think it was
another Ethan. They faked that. I never apologized because I never said anything wrong. I at no point.
I didn't see anything that even caused my attention. I mean, and if you start mentioning Run Famous, we're not even going to deal with her. I've had my bouts with her.
I'm done. I'm blocked. I blocked that.
I really don't feel like ComicsGate needs to argue with a cosplayer.
No, I don't mess with her anymore.
We can ignore.
I don't bother replying.
buyers, and just full stop. Just, we don't have to argue with them. They have no influence, no power in the industry. What they say doesn't mean anything. And so let's just move on from that. I mean, look, the bigger situation is that I think it's become clear to most fans in this industry that while this industry is in decline, rather hostile left-wing forces, that silence moderate or right-leaning voices, make employment difficult for them if they don't toe an ideological line. This is the biggest problem right now. This is what ComicsGate has to kind of rise up against. So, I mean, for me, it's like I endured months of dishonest portrayals of my character. Do I sound okay? Is this microphone doing the right thing?
Sounds pretty good. Little muffled.
I'll get a little closer to it. These strange weirdos, these fringe characters that appear on Twitter, they have a weird amount of influence in comics for some reason, and they run these targeted harassment campaigns to smear people's names. They tried to do it again. I mean, that's what this Marsha Cook thing was. This was a deliberate gambit. This was an attempt to get me to say something that I would regret. Fortunately, I've been through this, and I said absolutely nothing I regret. Not a thing. Not a thing. Go back and read that stuff. I love it. I think I behaved myself very, very well, respectfully. I looked up at heaven and I said, Darwin, this is your wife. I remember Darwin Cook very, very well. I miss him. I said, I'm not going to say anything that you wouldn't approve of. And I know Darwin was watching, and I think Darwin knows. I didn't say anything bad to them, but it doesn't matter because they needed me to. And so since they didn't get it out of me, they might as well pretend. They might as well just pretend that, I said something bad. And that's just as good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn sad for the most part, where we as creators, I'm a little guy. I don't have the accolades that like you, John, and Mark or Mike, and most of these guys that have been doing books for the big two in the mainstream for decades. I don't have those accolades, but even I can sit back and look at the entire landscape and say, something's not right. What is the deal? And then, when I joined ComicsGate was because of Richard Meyer. I was watching the show on and off. I agreed with some of his points, but when they did they tried to do the planned attack on him at a comic convention, and then when he released Jawbreakers and got the publisher Antarctic Press on, and they attacked him again, I was like, okay, now I kind of know where I fit in, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me or my family or any of my friends. And that's kind of how I decide if I think something is a good deal or a bad deal. Would I be okay for it happening to me or my family? And when I saw that, I was pretty irate. I know some guys in at Antarctic Press, and I started talking to them. I've been in the industry, or on the periphery of the industry, for a long time, and I've made a lot of friends. So I started talking to them, and I really started getting the underground light of what's actually been happening to a lot of guys. And I felt sorry for, the guys that are more conservative and have that political point of view. I'm more of a libertarian type guy. So, but I want to respect everybody's right or freedom of speech, because if their civil liberties get stepped on, mine are next, and so on and so on. And we got to stop it now before that cancer grows. And I said, okay, fine. I'll put my book out there. I was already working on it, and I say, okay, I'll wear the ComicsGates hashtag. And I've lost a couple of friends, and I've had a few people contact me like, man, I can't believe you're doing that. And how can you support white supremacists? I was like, well, that's kind of anti-self-preservation for me to be supporting white supremacists. I haven't had any of that. It's been nothing but love since I've been in ComicsGate. I laugh and talk with friends. I get into a couple of little Twitter battles. I try to stay out of those for the most part, but that's it. I've had a great time with these guys.
And I have a question. I was thinking last night, people are saying all these things, and it's been some of the weirdest stuff I've seen is all the homophobic attacks against me. I'm a dad of 6, it rolls off my back, but I have LGBT family members, you know, that are looking at this stuff. The picture you got, Ethan, you know, and just disgusted by it. That's not how this is. Just disgusted. But my question about ComicsGate is, aren't we really? I mean, we have ethnically. I mean, we are diverse. I don't think the white guys, the old white guys, are even the majority in the group, right? I mean, everybody has. I'm part Jewish. I mean, everybody. I'm just saying, everybody who's in it is their own person.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know, let me be me. I'll let you be you. We might agree on some things. We might disagree on some things. But at the end of the day, we shake hands. We both put our books on the shelves, and we go out and have a beer. I mean, that's right. What American life should be.
Right. I didn't even think about it. A low moment last night. I'm in the hospital, 2 a.m. You know, I'm getting all. You know, I deleted my Twitter and stuff and Facebook. You know, just seeing all these questions about the shooting, and then just weird attacks. You know, and I'm like, what are we doing? What's ComicsGate? You know, what are we doing? Because I know what I'm doing is trying to make great comics for my kids and grandkids to have when I'm gone. That's what I'm doing here. So why are these people doing this? And I really boiled it down to that what Brett's saying and what Ethan's been saying. It really is a culture war. It's two different sides culturally that just aren't coming together. It's not one American dream that we have the American. I don't know what we can do to fix it. All I know is my kids aren't going. You know. I'm keeping a closer eye on where they go, for sure.
Yeah, that's how I raised my kids. If I don't know if Edwin put out his live stream from yesterday that got hacked or last night, but you know, I was saying how I teach my kids. You know, you got to stand up for yourself. And I have 3 girls, and sometimes I feel sorry for some of these weak Kool-Aid men that are being brought into this world because they're not going to be able to handle them.
No, my girls box, man. My girls are shield maidens. You ever watch the TV show Vikings?
Yeah.
My sister's about as tall as me. My girls can throw down. I mean, I always tell them, you are not victims. Don't let anybody think that. You are a strong warrior, just like us.
Hey, Ben Jones, somebody's asking for a link to Asgard. I know it's not out yet, but can you tell them when it drops?
Asgard will drop September 8th on my 42nd birthday. So we're going to run it for 42 days. I like that symmetry of
that's
turned
cool.
42
That's
and
cool.
then I'll run it for 42 days. The video is being produced right now. We're working on that. The page is almost done. All my rewards are almost done. So pretty much I have about, let's see, I'm looking at pages now. I got about 12 pages to finish to be able to ship to the Colors. Colors has already been working. I've been already paying that out of pocket. So I'm pretty much, the ball is rolling on my side. I'm really ready to go. I'm really excited to show guys. And if you follow me on Twitter, you can also see the updates that I keep putting up. I usually put stuff up daily. I've probably showed almost the whole damn book, but you know, I get excited. I want these guys to enjoy what I do. And be happy with the product that I produce. So I'm always geeked up about posting new stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited for this book. I love the PDF you sent me. I just hate reading digital, so I haven't finished it yet, but the art is really beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. I put a lot of effort into it. I really wanted to show the pros that, you know, a little guy or an indie guy that doesn't have the accolades has the skill to stand in the ring with them.
Right on, man. Right on. Can I see some more? Can I go scroll up?
Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to. I'm gonna talk about Ben. Well, all right, forget it. We'll go. That's fine. Let's see. All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Donald.
How you doing, Donald? Good to see you.
Oh, my big brother Donald.
What's going on, Ben?
How you doing, man?
I can't complain. Home alone today. I got a nice, peaceful house.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm loving it.
Anyway, this is Ben Jones right here. This is Ben Jones's work. Showing his screen. Seems to be working on some Asgard here, drawing live. How do you like drawing digitally? What do you think of that?
I was a little skeptical about it. But what I had to do, I had to upgrade my drawing equipment. I moved to a Cintiq 22 HD where I can actually draw on the screen because I couldn't do that whole draw on the pad and look up at the monitor thing. My brain would short circuit. Mm-hmm. So by going to this digital format, other than not having an original to sell or actually having an original in the portfolio, it beats, for production wise, it beats traditional hands down. I will say the inking on the other side, I kind of sometimes I miss using a brush and using my quills, but for the most part, I love it over traditional.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the advantage of working this way. But yeah, the originals, man, that's the thing.
Yes.
That looks just like pencil. I mean, that looks hand drawn. I mean, are you using a stylus right now?
Yeah, I have a the Cintiq comes with a pen that you use. It's just like a pencil. I mean, I have all my settings configured to make it feel as traditional as I can. I know a lot of the current digital guys, they use a lot of these little techniques and using the software to get its maximum ability. I pretty much go in as though it were pencil and paper. I don't use a whole lot of the tools. I just jump in with my pen and the screen and I draw as I would with paper.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Donald, this is what you do?
Yeah, I work digitally as well. I work in a manga studio.
Same here.
Yeah. That's gorgeous, man. Fun stuff. Looks like Richard Pace is out there wilding. Donald, I'm looking at this tweet. This is something else. Richard Pace is such a meathead. Here's Richard Pace. I was asked, why do they talk like this? I was asked if I noticed how people like Ethan Van Sciver and Donald DeLay. Oh, isn't that interesting? How it's two ComicsGaters. You ever notice how these two people who both happen to be ComicsGaters? Yeah, did you ever notice that? Are attempting to make it seem James Gunn is a real pedophile. I'll just keep reading. It's just their attempt to push the focus away from their own weaknesses of character. Richard, you are a goddamn moron. I have to say this. I mean, you're a little dummy. James Gunn is way over here. It's not like James Gunn is in our industry. James Gunn, and by the way, this conversation ended 2 weeks ago. People aren't talking about James Gunn anymore. Do you know why? Because people already reacted. People already reacted to his social media problems. People already reacted to his issues, and Disney fired him. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, the cast went in and asked for him to be brought back. They brought James Gunn in there. They said no, they threw him out, and then Marvel went in there to try to talk Disney into bringing James Gunn back. And Marvel was trebucheted the fuck out of the office as well. James Gunn isn't coming back. It's not because of us, Richard. I know you live in a tiny little world where you think that we are everything at this point. You think that ComicsGate is controlling the universe, but Disney is slightly more influential than I am. I mean, don't get me wrong, Richard. Don't get me wrong. I'm extremely powerful, but I am not the one that fired James Gunn. And by the way, I don't know if James Gunn is a pedophile. I never said that he was. I have
Neither did I.
I have no idea. I mean, he could be. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's just his sense of humor. But I have no idea. I never said anything like that.
My thing was that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
This idiot just posted, "If you're a racist, bigot, homophone." So in other words, Richard, he posted homophone instead of homophobe. If you're a homophone, so if you actually sound the same as another word, but you mean something different, or you're weaponizing it to build your base, like any of the leaders in ComicsGate with a K. Richard, dummy, Canadian, you fucking leafy Canuck. Just putting one single K in front of ComicsGate doesn't do much. It doesn't mean KKK. One K doesn't mean anything. It kind of, if anything, it looks a little bit like European, but it doesn't mean anything. You can't abandon it and keep your fans, he says. They need to make their enemies worse while retaining the true believers. James Gunn is not my enemy. He's not my enemy.
I want to. Can I ask Richard Pace a question?
No, because he's not here. Hang on a second. Let me finish this. No sane person, he says, believes James Gunn is a pedophile. That's not true, because if he is a pedophile, somebody knows it, and they're not insane. Okay, they're not insane. And by the way, it's not an insane proposition to suspect that he might be. He's a little bit too chatty about it. He's a little bit too comfy with that. Just like isn't this the rule? Isn't this the rule of thumb with weirdo SJWs that if somebody makes a single Nazi reference on a sketchbook 10 years ago, chances are he walks like a duck, talks like a duck, he's a duck.
Right.
Okay, let's apply that to James Gunn then, Richard Pace. You and your dummy friend Tim Doyle. Sorry, live by the sword, die by the sword. And he says, but people like Ethan will tell the lie. I mean, every word of this is a fucking lie because he looks less evil in comparison. Richard, I'm not the one that shaved my head like a Nazi and is smoking a cigar, looking over my shoulder, trying to look like a mobster. I mean, I don't understand looking evil in comparison. Every picture of me is jolly. I'm very, very jolly. James Gunn, I know it hurt you guys. I know you saw that as a culture war defeat. Get ready for many, many more because the real evil weirdos seem to be on your side. Every word of your post is a lie. Is lying evil? Lying is evil. You are lying. You might be evil, Richard. You might be evil. You might be slipping into evil.
He's totally evil.
He's examined
on his Kickstarter.
Yeah, I know. He cheated people on your Kickstarter. I'd examine your own personal life, stuff that I know about that I will never share. Even though you felt free to share stuff about my personal life, I would examine stuff about your own personal life and ask myself, do I really need to be the judge of someone like Ethan Van Sciver? An exquisite human being like me, a human sunbeam like me. Does Richard Pace really stand? Does he dare stand in my glory? Absolutely not. Richard Pace, this is a ridiculous tweet. I mean, you're a pathetic liar. Stop trying to get work this way. Stop trying to get work this way. Either you're going to get work or you're not, based on your talent, not based on the weirdo propaganda you put out on Twitter. I like your dimples though, and your squinty little eyes. I know you're badly in debt. I know you need money. I understand all this. I get it. This isn't the way. This isn't the way, my goofball friend. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Donald, for letting me see that ridiculous. And these guys are just going hard in the paint. I really don't know why. I don't know what the big deal is. Let me. I'm going to pull away again. I'm going to go back to this article that I wanted to talk about. X-Men Red Scribe Tom Taylor. He's an Australian. Weighs in on ComicsGate. Oh, good. These people all know about ComicsGate, apparently. Comic writer Tom Taylor, X-Men Red Justice, and Green Lantern Edge of Oblivion by Ethan Van Sciver. Me and Tom Taylor sitting in a restaurant in New York City with Eddie Berganza, having a nice lunch, talking about Green Lantern. So I know Tom Taylor. He is the latest industry figure to take a big stand against the ComicsGate movement, ComicsGate gatekeeping movement. Interesting. Do you guys think we're a gatekeeping movement? And what do you think?
Totally. And I think we're Nazis too.
I think they know that they can't keep saying hate group because it's illegal in essence. They have some liability there. So now it's a gatekeeping group because that's not a legal term.
Yeah. Who are we keeping out of what?
I don't know.
Women and minorities.
Come over. Do comics. Make comics with us. Come over. You're welcome.
Yep.
Who are we saying?
Only
no
if you're
to
white,
besides
though.
These fucking
White
assholes?
people only.
Yeah.
Yes, white people only. Oh wait.
Yeah.
All right.
75% of cautionary comics is not white.
Well, who cares? We don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter. You want to come over here and you want to kind of subscribe to our philosophy, which is that SJWs are animals, and they are animals. They behave poorly. You look at this Richard Pace tweet; he's an animal and a liar. And if you want to behave like that, you don't belong with us. If you want to behave with honor, if you want to behave like somebody who wants to produce a product that fans will enjoy, you want to think about fans first, and not about virtue signaling. You want to think about virtue signaling way, way, way down the line. So look, I want to produce a comic book that's gonna that everyone is gonna enjoy, as many people as possible. This idea that comics, not every comic is for everyone, is ridiculous in this market. It's ridiculous. You want to put a high power like scope on your gun when you're aiming at a target, when you're aiming at your target audience. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? Why not? You should be aiming for everyone right now. The audience is so small. The crowd is so small. People buying comics are so small. Why would you want to just focus on one tiny subset of that audience? I don't understand. And by the way, when you do that and your comic book gets canceled, you know what I mean? It's like, don't say that we didn't tell you so. Try to make entertainment that pleases as many people as possible. I mean, that's the best philosophy when you're working for the big two, because you actually are engaged in capitalism. You're trying to make money for another company. That, if you want to kind of come over here and do that, you want to create comic books for large masses of people, we want you here. And we don't care what you look like, and we don't care what you do. We just want you to be honest. We want you to engage with the fans in a respectful way. That's a big deal, by the way. That's a real big deal. That'll get you kicked out of ComicsGate. If there is such a thing as gatekeeping in ComicsGate, that'll get you kind of unpersoned here if you are rude to the fans.
Exactly.
Well, the fans are part of it too. We are the ultimate gatekeepers. If you talk about it being a consumer revolt, then yeah, I feel that I'm a gatekeeper. I keep my money out of the pockets of people that would write hit pieces like that or be involved in that. I in fact passed on over $100 and stuff just because I saw that article and it disgusted me enough that I said, yeah,
the CBR one, this one, I haven't even read it yet.
They take you can see the Tom Taylor quote. It's basically weaponizing something where there is no place for homophobia, transphobia. Yeah, everybody agrees with that. Unfortunately, when you go through Tom Taylor's timeline that's attached there, you can see the people adding other things to it too. It's just very interesting to see the face of it.
Well, he says, I believe comics are for everyone. Tom Taylor. There's no excuse for harassment. Thank you. Tom, can you please tell your friends to leave us alone? Is that possible? Is that possible? There is no place for homophobia, transphobia, racism, or misogyny in comics criticism. Well, that would be nice, but unfortunately people do have free speech and they can say whatever they want to say. I agree with you. I don't like those things. I don't like homophobia. I don't like transphobia. I stand up every now and then and I say it. I try to, put it out there without virtue signaling. Virtue signaling makes me uncomfortable. I'm not looking for PP touches. I'm not looking for a dopamine hit from saying what's right. I'm not. So I don't do it very often, but every now and then I do. Racism, obviously misogyny in comics criticism. That's gatekeeping. That right there is people should be allowed to say whatever they want, Tom. I mean, it's this is the marketplace of ideas. We do have YouTube, we have Twitter. People should be able to say whatever the hell they want. Now they're going to face a reaction to it from other people, but this idea that people should be scared to speak their minds, not because somebody is going to not allow them to. They should be allowed to. Make a fool of yourself if you want to. Taylor encouraged everyone who shared his views on comics to copy and paste his tweet to their own profile. In addition to the countless fans who took time to share the tweet, so did numerous other creators in the comic book industry, including people I don't know. I don't know these people. None of these people. Let me see if I know any of them. Jamal Igle. Don't know. Cena Grace. Jackson. Heather Antos, Marvel Comics editor, former ex-Marvel Comics editor, Heather Antos. Go ahead and put an X in front of that. She no longer works there. Additionally, Taylor's Twitter feed is flooded with his enthusiastic reblogs of fans, creators, and commentators alike who helped him spread his message. He expressed his gratitude in a follow-up tweet which read, I see everyone copying and pasting this, and you're pretty damn awesome. Keep it going. If Taylor's goal was to send a clear message to the comic book sphere, it's safe to say he's been rather successful as the tweets only continue to pour in. Is that it? That's the whole article.
This is astroturfing, is what it is.
Yep.
It's not real. Like any popularity that this thing will derive is from the media claiming that's a big deal. It's really not a big deal. No one in my feed is posting it. All people that follow me, comic fans.
I don't care if they do post it. I mean, I disagree with the premise that you should shut down people's speech. When you say there's no place,
oh, absolutely, yeah,
it's a little bit like presumptuous. There is a place. It's
Sure.
called hell. You can you can be racist if you want. You can be misogynist if you want. You can be homophobic, transphobic, and the place that you can be those things is hell. But at the end of the day, I mean, either you're First Amendment or you're not. Comics criticism, this has nothing to do with us. So when you're flinging this, comparing this to us, comics
straw man.
I mean, all we're doing, again, I mean, we just have to repeat this over and over again. Tom, all of these people who are busy tweeting, retweeting your virtue signal are not producing comics that people want to read.
I bet if he got off Twitter, he'd have more time to try to write a good book.
Well, I'm not getting off of Twitter, and my comic is incredible. Of course, I'm only doing a couple comics a year.
Why didn't he add also anti-Christian bigotry and telling little boys that they're Nazis because of the way their skin color? Why didn't he include that?
Well, he says there's no excuse for harassment, but I think harassment is, you know what? I'm so tired of hearing about harassment while enduring it.
Right.
I endure the kind of harassment that doesn't end. You look at my and people. By the way, the reason why it doesn't bother me very much is because it's not accurate. Here's the thing. Have you ever had? Whose dog is that?
Not mine.
Whose dog is that?
Whose dog is howling?
Who bitch this is? Who bitch this is?
not mine. Mine are.
Okay, sorry, that's mine. There's somebody at the door. I'll be right back.
Okay. Have you ever had someone criticize you, and that they're dead on, and they've nailed the flaw in your character, and you can feel your face flush?
Yeah, you feel ashamed
because they got you. It's like they see right through me. They see who I am. And boy, that's a painful thing. I've had that happen to me a few times, where it's just they nailed my flaws of character. Now, this Richard Pace tweet here, where Richard is lying and saying that we're going around trying to convince people that James Gunn is a real pedophile. That has zero effect but mild irritation. Where it's just why are you there are actual things that you can criticize us about. That is a lie. Why are you spreading lies? That isn't what we're doing here.
Pure lies. I can tell you a few things, Ethan, that I know whenever you want, but we can keep it to ourselves.
Well, no, I don't care about it. I mean, it's just here's the thing. You feel free to criticize ComicsGate, but I mean, it's these are lies. You're not
real arguments. Yeah, when you call somebody an MRE or a Nazi, it's okay, back that up with proof. Show evidence that these guys at ComicsGate are Nazis. Where is the evidence of this? None. It doesn't exist.
A year and a half ago, I was in contact with Richard Pace, a bunch of his friends. I felt that I was definitely. At first, I thought people just really liked my writing. When I started getting some attention, saying, hey, these people, they're bigots. Don't talk to them. They're evil, awful people. And I didn't really know what was up with Ethan at the time, but I knew that Diversity in Comics was a veteran. So I kind of started there. I knew, I heard the things about Ethan. So I kept hearing on and on all these awful things. And finally, I just got to the point where the first time I offered $1,000 was to Richard Pace to prove that to me. Then when it became evident to him that I'm not going to use him as an artist, I bought some art from him. I'm an art collector. But when that became evident, he just blocked me and bashed me to all his people.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, the point of all this is that none of this is accurate. This is not an accurate assessment of what ComicsGate stands for. ComicsGate is it's basically us standing up and saying this stuff isn't working. It's not selling, and I don't think these people are going to stop. They are. This is a disease. Social justice warriorism is a disease, and people.
It's a cancer.
It's a cancer. People are infected with it, and it's killing comics. And this all sounds.
It's also
good.
Killing journalism. Kills journalism because look at this article. It's posted on CBR. You see it on comicbook.com. You see it on Tor.com. You see it on The Verge. You see it on Wired. All these sites, they're supposed to be journalistic outlets, and yet and yet they're publishing stuff that is so poorly researched, so full of holes, so full of lies even. They're just regurgitating what ComicsGate's detractors are saying without checking it themselves, that they are doing a disservice to journalism. And this is why journalism is dying. People trust YouTubers more than they trust journalists. They'll watch a PewDiePie video. He will talk about Battlefield 5 or a new movie or a new video game, whatever, right? Any topic. And it's completely different from what you might read on Polygon or The Verge or Wired or any of these other websites, because they're lying. They're just straight up lying, and no one can trust them. People are smart. We don't rely upon journalists to tell us the truth anymore because we know they're not.
They can't even agree on their narrative, though. We have like Tom King coming out the same day and saying, you know, comics aren't for everyone. And then he goes through this. And meanwhile, like today, right now, I'm watching the same comics are for everyone crowd attacking Alterna Comics. They're doing it right now.
Why?
They attack
Why?
Peter because he thinks everybody who buys comics, and apparently he's thinking the wrong think crowd. If you're not in with them, then, you know, you're not part of the industry. And they, unfortunately, they can't control you guys because you're independents. They can't control Peter Samedi because he is his independent company. And
Peter.
it's great on him. Yeah, they're attacking him. De Guzman or whatever, she's attacking him right this moment. I mean, I've been watching it.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, man, he's nice. He supports charity. You know, I don't know. He just supports all fans. The stuff that we've talked about forever. I mean, you know, we want professionalism. We want good products. The same thing that EVS entails. I mean, Alterna tries to do that too. So, you know, I think this is the good way to just harden the resolve of companies that will never hire these people too. You know, when they get to the point where they can no longer work at a Marvel, there's no longer that shield paying them a salary. When they have to go out and actually earn some dollars, then, you know, all the companies they burn bridges with, that'll pay off in a terrible way, and good riddance to them. I hope they become hobbyists, you know, and they can draw while they're checking out people, you know, at McDonald's drive-through. I hope it's fun. I hope they like it.
No, you're right. You're right. And Ian, you know what I found out about this websites that you talked about, the way they get around the journalistic standards and the clear legal issues that they say, we're a blog. We're just a blog. We're not journalists. We're a blog. And many of them have filed their corporations that way. So if they want to, if this is a warrior, right, this is a culture war, we have to go through small claims court, right?
Oh, yeah.
We have to civilly litigate.
Do what Hulk Hogan did. He sued Gawker, and they were claiming to be a blog. Well, it didn't work for them. That defense did not work.
Exactly,
it did not hold up.
because he went after the owners, the individuals that own those sites. So that's what I've talked to my team last week when I was labeled, and I lost almost $10,000, 2 business opportunities, and a lot of stuff happened last week. So yeah, that's what they told me. Got to go after the owners and the individuals saying this stuff. Ace, Clay Moore, you know, all of them. You know, you prove that we are what we say you are, or you'll prove it in court.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, I you know, the court stuff. There are a few legal kind of situations that are going on right now, and I wonder how they're going to work out. You know, I don't know if, you know, is going to court going to change things?
I think so.
Going to do that?
Definitely shut down Gawker.
It'll change the public face of it. But see, I'm torn on that. I don't want people having their livelihood ruined. Like Ben said,
these guys are millionaires. They're millionaires. They can afford it.
Yeah, well, I don't want Ben, like someone like that, though, having his livelihood. But at the same time, I want to know these people out there. I want to know exactly what they think about me. So, I mean, you know, I don't back them. You know, if you shut these people up with rules, say DC came in and it shut all these people down, then we would possibly back people that pretty much hate us. They are pretty much a hate group. So let them talk, let them speak. At the same time, I'm not looking at it. It's not costing me money. So there's a different side to that. I can't say how you handle that.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
there's a financial side.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You have a point here. You know, it's important to defend free speech, important to have these principles. And, you know, what they do whenever they say something stupid, it only boosts our side, right? That's what they're doing. They're giving us free PR. So we don't want to destroy them. But at the same time, you know, I'm talking about the journalists here. So like the comic book creators, let them speak whatever they want to. But the journalists here, they tend to ruin people's lives. They get people fired all the time. They do it without any consequence or ramification whatsoever because they think they're on the right side of history. They can just go after somebody, destroy this person's reputation without even checking, right? They'll call somebody a Nazi. That person will have all their job opportunities taken away from them. And there is nothing, no recourse whatsoever. So if these people lose their jobs, I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. They are a disgraced profession.
Yeah, I agree. And there is recourse to it. That's the thing. So the way my legal team explained it to me was, well, Mr. Henderson, right now you have a tiny little lemonade stand selling comic books. And there's people across the street that are saying there's fecal matter in the lemonade. There's fecal matter. It's evil lemonade. And you who made the lemonade is actually the devil. So if it just picture there's somebody across the sign with this picket sign, well, that is damaging your business because it's a flat out lie. So these civil actions are there to make these people put up or shut up. I offered them $4,000. Nobody's taken it. Put up or shut up and prove that I am a white supremacist Nazi zombie.
No, you don't have to do that. I mean, not you know. Ben,
I don't mind. Just
what
prove.
Do you mean you don't mind?
I don't.
They prove that. Why would you? Here's let me just say something.
Yeah, don't play it in defense. Yeah,
it's a defensive action. You know, all they need to do, honestly, and this is something that you'll learn, is they could call you something. They could say, I'm going to do this with Richard Pace. I'm going to show you something. Okay. So Richard Pace is sitting here right now talking about how I'm saying that James Gunn is a pedophile. Okay. Right. Now, what I'm going to do instead of just ignoring him is I'm going to go online and I'm going to tweet out, James Gunn is not a pedophile. I don't think James Gunn is a pedophile. James Gunn, in my opinion, not a pedophile. Now, you know what that does? Puts James Gunn and pedophile in the same sentence.
Right.
And people are going to think James Gunn is a pedophile. Otherwise, why would he be saying this? That's called, that's the Streisand effect. So don't go out there and start talking to people about prove that I'm a white supremacist. You're basically telling people you're a white supremacist. That's what they're hearing.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's how they destroy you. They put you on the defense. They force you to take a reactionary position. Don't do that. Don't feed into them.
Be better than that. Ignore that.
Be better than that. Yeah.
This is the thing. I got to tell you. 99% of this we're going to ignore. 99% of all of this abuse, this weirdo-ness, we're going to ignore. These are people dying right now. What's pretty funny is Cecil just tweeted something out to Doc Shaner. Now, Doc Shaner said, anyway, ComicsGate is nonsense. And no, anybody about to tweet that, hey, but find out more about ComicsGate, link at me. I'm all right. No thanks. That quote, few bad apples, unquote, excuse doesn't fly one bit with me either. Okay, interesting tweet. Cecil comes out of left field with this. Check out Cecil. He says, you sit perched in a mighty oak, yet you turn a blind eye to those who are poisoning its roots. Instead, you cast a covetous eye upon a small fruit tree growing in the distance. Death looks upon life with envy and despair. I am #ComicsGate.
Wow.
Nice. Cecil, ladies and gentlemen, that's our boy Cecil. That's exactly right. Now, what are you going to do? We're basically the small, tiny little apple tree that's growing apples right now. We've got like a dozen apples on us that look pretty good. We're not the mighty oak over there, the mighty 200-year-old oak that is slowly dying. We're a young, precious sapling that's growing right now. And yeah, I mean, hey, we're not as wise. We haven't been around as much as long as that mighty oak. But this is an apt analogy. We are not going to fling anything at the mighty oak. We're just going to work on growing. Now, I don't want you to react to these people. Here's why. I just got a nice email. I get fan mail all day long. I mean, great fan mail from you guys. Mwah, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for this. You guys know my email address. You send me stuff. So this guy introduces himself to me. He says, I'm Puerto Rican, born in the Bronx, conservative, 45-year-old independent graphic designer and illustrator living in the Tampa Bay area with my wife and 2 children. He's a family man. He's not dissimilar from me. He's just a little bit older than me. He says, up until 3 years ago, I worked in the licensing apparel industry as a designer, art director, and creative industry director. After almost 20 years, I decided to take a leap of faith and leave my day job to pursue my passion for working in comics. Big mistake. I was coming to a crazy place of getting some work in the industry and trying to keep the office thing going. I knew I needed to pick a lane sooner or later. So After long nights and discussions with my wife, I decided to take that leap. Some thought I was crazy, but I believed I had a calling, and the support I was getting from pros and encouragement I got from editors seemed to confirm that belief. I was getting work from Archie and Dynamite, but the real problem was the meager pay for that work. Net 30 payment schedules. Oh my God, dude, you get paid once a month at Dynamite. I mean, that's it. You get paid once a month. You got to make it work. You got to make it work somehow. And by the way, page rates at Archie and Dynamite suck. I mean, they suck. They're not. It's not a living wage. You wonder why those books aren't going to look as good as Marvel and DC books. It's because you have to crank out 4 pages a day just to survive. And you get paid once a month. I soon found myself missing deadlines because I needed to fold in other freelance work that would pay the bills. The quality of my art suffered, and I finally had to make a new choice after a year and a half to quit comics altogether. It was a hard choice, but it was the right one. Fast forward a few months ago, I was looking into expanding my social media presence into YouTube, and I stumbled upon guys like you and Diversity in Comics, and I started hearing something fresh. Because we're fresh, exciting. We're so inviting to the entire comic book community. We're not gatekeeping. You fucking liars. If you can draw or write, come join us. If you hate SJWs, welcome to ComicsGate. Thank you. It's true. We are fresh. I actually started listening to your message, which I thought was bigger than your work. I wouldn't say that. I mean, well, maybe. Green Lantern Rebirth was pretty good. And I fell in love. Now I listen to you guys every day, and that message has lit a new fire. People are saying in the chat, never sing. I'm going to sing all the day. I sing every day. That message has lit a new fire in me to give my passion another try with a consumer that will actually compensate the creators for their effort through crowdfunding. While I'm not so sure about the components of a campaign and what I would need to get started, specific to comics, I know you're busy. I'd like to learn more about your mom, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. He says, basically, I want to be your Padawan. All right, come on over. Help me, Ethan Van Kenobi. Ethan Van Kenobi.
You like that? You look really happy right now.
Ethan Van Kenobi.
I haven't
Never
seen
like
that happy.
That works. That really works. You're my only hope. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable. Either way, I wish you continued success. I look forward to more from you and ComicsGate. All right, now look, this is what we're talking about here. This isn't a movement of bigotry and racism and homophobia and sexism. I mean, sure, we're irritated by some of these ladies, a couple in particular. You want to name some of the ladies we're irritated by?
Me? Are you asking me? I have a list.
No. Don't worry about that. There are a couple ladies that we're irritated by, but overall, it's okay. We like the ladies. We want them to join us.
Is Robbie a lady? Is Robbie a lady?
Who?
Robbie, the one who sent you a butthole picture. Is he a lady?
No, he is not a lady. He's all man,
I would challenge the idea that he's all man.
Yeah, well, okay. I also wouldn't. He may be female, but he's definitely not a lady. The other, just.
And now this whole stream is going to get clipped. They're going to call us transphobic, even though he's not trans. He's just
I don't know how he identifies. If he identifies as a female, that's great. But he's definitely not a lady, like I say. Yeah.
No, yeah, he's well.
We're not assuming his gender, right?
No, he's not a gentleman for sure. Definitely not a lady.
That was not gentlemanly. That was not classy.
Absolutely not.
We're not. We want people like this. This is what ComicsGate is. We've got this fellow who he's a storyteller at heart. He wants to do comics. He can't do comics through the mainstream. He just can't. He tried, it didn't work. He's a conservative. People find that out. That's not going to be good. He's a Puerto Rican conservative. Oh, we got to get rid of him right away. That's the mainstream comic industry does not tolerate people of color who are Republicans. You're going to get called special names. Ben.
They call me Uncle Chong. Disgusting. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's like a play on Uncle Tom, but you got these white guys, these soy beard white guys, calling me Uncle Chong. It's like, yeah, it's a little tiny bit racist there, guy.
Yeah, you would think, huh?
Yeah.
I find the people, after not even a day after the shooting at Jacksonville Landing, I've seen 4 people now posting about that's what ComicsGate pretty much is. They're going to be someplace, they're going to go in and shoot up a place. And I thought, my God, what horrible people! They're using
shameless.
Well, I went down there right after, and I deleted my Twitter account because all I got people seeing that I'm tagged at Jacksonville, Florida on Twitter were people wishing for me and my family's death.
Oh, Jesus.
So I just deleted it so I can actually go check on my uncle that was down there. I didn't know if he was dead or alive, but
Ben Hennessy was especially, personally touched by the shooting yesterday. He had an uncle who was badly injured in the shooting. So it has touched ComicsGate. The Trump-hating lunatic who went in there and decided to make everyone's life, turn people's lives upside down and destroy families. Damn him. And he hurt our brother Ben Hennessy and Ben's family. And Ben, I'm sorry to hear all about that. I got a little bit of word about that.
Thanks, man. Well, thank God they're going to be fine. The people that aren't going to be fine is who I think about. And future people that might not be fine is who I think about.
Yeah.
And they said, like I said, we're JSO, my uncle was with the sheriff's office, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And the biggest reports were that the arguing was bullying, and it was racial bullying on all sides. All sides. Some people were yelling for the wall to be built, and some people were calling people Nazis. And then they were playing a harsh video, whatever, something about the video game. I don't play it really. My
Madden. This is a football game.
Okay. Madden, right. My son likes that and Fortnite. It's just a football game. So I don't know, they were just bantering. Me and my friends used to be like, you punk ass,
Yeah. I was on a video game. Yeah. I was on a podcast today with Lee Stranahan, Sputnik Radio. We talked about this, and before the show started, before we started getting to the segment, we were just bantering about old school games. I called the guy a boomer. I called him a boomer, and he was like, "You're a whippersnapper." It's just banter. It's a video game thing.
Well, people talk, we talk shit about just talking about comic books. I mean, Lord, when you get into some kind of actual competition there where you can beat somebody, hell yeah, I'm going to talk smack if I beat you.
Yep, and it's never escalated to violence before. This is like the first time, and it's not endemic to the video game community. It's not endemic to comics. It's not endemic to anything. None of the geek cultures do this. I mean, yeah, it happens actually all the time at actual sports events. People beat each other up, set each other's cars on fire, right? That's a thing that happens, and no one talks about their toxic masculinity or whatever. But somehow it happens in video games, and suddenly it's like the whole video game community comes under attack. You got all these SJW journalists going on about how people like Movie Bob, this fucking movie reviewer, going on about how this is actually a problem of Trump supporters and gun control. We lack the gun control, and they play too much Doom, they play too much Counter-Strike, they play too much Call of Duty. That's what caused it. And it's like, dude, it's a Madden video game.
Moon pies. Oh no, that's Bob Shipman. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm of the mind, honestly, to just give it up for dead. I mean, at this point, the industry and these weirdos, I can't help them. They don't want to help themselves. I want to help people like the guy who just wrote me
exactly
that fan letter. I want to help him.
For anyone.
Yeah. Our audience is going to grow. I mean, this is the thing. As more people find out about ComicsGate and they learn what the actual truth is, they're just going to come along. I don't understand for the life of me why we're getting this kind of resistance from mainstream comics when I keep telling them, no, we just want you to leave us alone.
Because you're successful. Because you are successful, and you are proving that their brand is. You're showcasing how hateful their brand is. Right here, I can look at anybody can participate, have fun, hang out with Ethan Van Sciver for a few hours every single day. You can support a comic book, make something new, or you can go on. And right now, the guy representing Batman, a few of them will call me, a racist, a homophobe, and whatever for having any opinion. Maybe not even an opinion. They may just call me that because they feel like it. And then, how many people am I blocklisted and on by? So yeah, I think you're showcasing their faults. Like you were saying, how people get red in the face when you showcase their faults. Well, they're pretty damn red in the face right now.
Yeah. They can feel it. That burning shame. People react. I mean, you can shame people. You can't shame people with false stuff. I don't feel ashamed by anything they're saying, and it's quite possible to shame me. I don't feel shame by what they're saying because it's not accurate.
No, either.
It's not accurate. I mean, it's not a fair assessment of ComicsGate, what we stand for. Most of these people are all reacting to stuff that, like, they heard Richard C. Meyer say on a diversity in comics thing. I mean, it's not what ComicsGate is. It's not what this movement is. And certainly, you know, Richard C. Meyer had some great ideas with diversity in comics. He had some interesting things to say. He had some cringy things to say. He's not perfect. You know, he's just a guy. He's just a dude with a phone and sitting in his car with a comic book. These people need to understand what this movement actually is, and what this movement is just a bunch of people who are saying, okay, we don't like the way this boat is going. We don't like this ship is headed for an iceberg. So it's okay. You guys stay on this boat. We're not telling you you can't be on your boat. We're not trying to change your boat. We're not trying to do anything to your boat. Go head for the iceberg. We're gonna make our own little boat. We're a little tugboat that we're gonna go over here. All right, and we're gonna do it by ourselves.
A spaceship.
It could. I like to say Noah's Ark is what I like to say. But no, yeah, Noah's Ark is even better. We're just like, it's raining out. You guys like the rain. You're dancing naked in the rain. We're building a boat because we think this is going to be bad, and we're inviting people to come on. And you know, you're lying when you say that this is somehow bigoted. I mean, all right. Here's how it's bigoted. I can't stand SJWs, and I don't care what SJWs are. Just sick people, as far as I'm concerned. They're nasty.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. They're Marxists. They try to push their agenda into everything. You know, when it comes to comics or video games and movies or TV, they always take something that's already popular, something that's good, something that people enjoy, and they think, well, I'm taking over this new license. I wonder how I can use this to promote Marxism. That's on their minds, you know.
That's
and when
they're warriors.
Yep. And when people don't like it, when people don't buy it, and people say, hey, this is trash, and people say, hey, stop trying to push fucking bionic arm women into World War II war simulations for video games, right? They're like, oh, you're a fucking bigot. And you know what? You can either buy it or you can shut the fuck up. And that's a response to people. They'll call you uneducated because you don't think that, you know, there are any bionic cyborg women in World War II. You're uneducated. So obviously people aren't buying it. They're not buying Battlefield 5, or they're not buying shitty Thor comics. And suddenly, oh, we're all the bad guys. Yeah. Maybe if they, you know, if they did try to force all this bullshit into their video games, into their movies or comics, their stuff would actually sell.
Yeah, I
Let me plow through these super chats, Ben, just real quick. I want to get through these. Vince Garrett, $2. Your mic needs to be one fist away from your face. That sounds like a threat, Vince. Okay, I got you.
The recommendation I got you, you know, you won't have to worry about distance or anything at all.
Okay, well, I'll you know, listen, that's good to know. JP4, $5. Thanks for giving me something to work. I'll listen to it work. Mark C, $5. Uncle Ethan, the Greeks have nothing on Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge, and we have the best food in the world. Oh my God, I know. I've been there. There's Fox, $5. Hi, Nasser. I wanted to get in on Stardust. We answered that already. Creativity by Design, National Dessert Day, October 14th. Live stream a pie party. I don't know how much longer I can hold out. I really don't. I'm gonna get a pie. I'm gonna do one today. Rhaegar Targaryen, $1.99. Good day, ComicsGate. We are all homophones now. Yeah, we're all homophones. Richard Pate's calling us homophones. Harry Bergeron, $2. Ben, good to see you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't know which Ben. I think Ben Jones, probably. Yeah, you know, yeah, Ben Hennessy. People like, get him out of here. No, Ben Jones. Yes, yeah. All right, I can't bust Ben Hennessy's balls like that. He's not that type of guy. I do that to Mike S. Miller and Nasser. Anthony, thanks for $2. First Amendment thoughts. Well, I think I expressed. I think I stood up for the First Amendment just a moment ago. When people say there's no room for people to say this, this, and this, I disagree. There is room. You can say those things. There will be consequences. There'll be social, maybe even legal consequences. You know, in some cases, if you threaten somebody's life or something like that. When it comes to criticizing comics, I mean, you know, you should be able to say whatever you want to say. Frankly, Hamster Snake, thanks for $5. We need to build a pie wall, and we need to build it quickly. Pie wall, TP, keep the haters out. Oh, pie wall to keep the haters out. I would just eat a hole through it. Midnight Trade TV, $2. Our only weakness is Nasser's horror movie taste. What's wrong with your horror movie taste? What do you like?
Well, I was talking to Doug Tenaple on a stream yesterday, and I said my top 5 are Scream, Psycho, Lights Out, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and The Thing.
Ooh, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Ooh.
Yeah, that's I like
top
Psycho.
5, man. Man, God.
Psycho's my favorite movie of all time, but I don't I don't know about the other ones. The Thing, I guess, is okay.
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. It's overrated. He's overrated, dude. John Carpenter's overrated. So is George Romero, and people don't like it when I say that, but I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
You do?
yeah, George Romero, way overrated. He's somebody who is a better idea man than he was at actually fulfilling his ideas. He created the modern zombie. All of his movies.
Movie's overrated.
Yeah,
Day of the Dead was so much better than all the other Off the Dead movies, and that's Zack Snyder.
Dawn of the Dead. You mean the
Dawn of the Dead? Yeah, not Day of the Dead. Sorry, yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
Now, you
I
look
love
at
them too. I love them too.
Night of the Living Dead is a pretty good movie, although it's extremely boring.
It is so boring.
But it's a good movie. Dawn of the Dead from 1978 is a piece of garbage. I mean, it really is a stupid piece of film.
What? No way, man. No way. Disagree.
Let me watch it with you. Let me watch it with you, and you honestly watch it with
You got to transport your mind back to the 80s.
I don't want
terrible. Like watch Dawn of the Dead 2004. Zack Snyder, masterpiece.
Yeah,
masterpiece.
great idea.
God, Zack Snyder compare. Oh my God, what am I listening to here?
And they just
How can you not like Zack Snyder? The dude is a master. He's a legend.
Zack Snyder, yeah. Who watched the bullet casings fall, and maybe we can get a cutout.
People are shitting on him for no reason. I don't
I'm with
understand
Pug
why
on this.
so
I
much
don't like
hate.
Zack Snyder at all.
My favorite thing about
fucking love Zack Snyder.
is people go, it's a commentary on consumerism. It's like, no, it isn't. Knock it off. It's zombies in a mall. There's no consumerism commentary. What? Because we all just walk around dumbly and shop at the mall? Wow,
It's not a commentary on anything. It's just a cool setting. It's a cool setting.
Man, malls back then had gun shops in them. Oh man, what a beautiful idea! I could go to the mall, pick up a gun, not have to worry about anybody being like, "Oh my God, there's a gun shop here." I mean, isn't that an awesome idea?
Yeah, I have to admit. Well, see, this is the thing, though. I mean, George Romero deserves all kinds of respect because the ideas are good. He just doesn't do them well. So you let somebody else do them. The Crazies, great idea, but he fucked it up. The remake is awesome. The Crazies remake from like 2009 or something like that.
I like that. I like
his unintentionally funny movies, like Monkey Shines. You have a paraplegic and he tries to kill himself in it. So he drives his wheelchair with his little straw into like a plastic sheet. He keeps trying to suffocate himself, and I don't know, it's beyond absurd.
That was a good movie, Monkey Shines. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I know people don't like it. Everybody has a lot of respect for George Romero. I do too. I just don't think he was a good filmmaker. And John,
you want to talk about you want to talk John Carpenter? Thank you.
Same guy, same situation. Overrated.
Yeah.
Halloween, the first Halloween movie,
except for The Thing. Do you not like The Thing? Because that was a really good movie.
I say that, and all of his, Escape from New York, or all that stuff. I mean, I didn't see that.
You didn't like Snake Plissken?
No, I didn't see it, so I can't.
You need to see that. It's like, I think, in my opinion, he's made 2 really, really good movies and a lot of trash, right? And those 2 really good movies would be The Thing and Escape from New York. That's it. That's
so like They Live doesn't count at all. Or
Live, I forgot. Yeah, you're totally.
I forgot that one. Damn
Which one?
When you start going back, he has a period where he hammers out some amazing stuff. I mean, in the Mouth of Madness is probably one of the best Lovecraftian themed films I've ever seen.
I've not seen that.
So I mean, you've got this span for about 10 years where he drops great movies. But then, I mean, when you look at his later movies, like Ghost on Mars, my God, terrible movies. But man, for 10 years, he could make a movie.
Vampires. Yeah, what the hell with vampires? Terrible. I mean, dreadful movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Big Trouble in Little China. He made that too.
I don't know. I'm not as firm on John Carpenter. I've never seen a good John Carpenter movie other than The Thing, and I haven't seen all of them. I didn't like In the Mouth of Madness either. I like Medicare's opening, borrowing some from In the Mouth of Madness. I think that's good, but I don't like that. I didn't like that movie. I thought it was terrible, and I don't dig it, man. I just don't dig John Carpenter. I've met him. The sad thing is I've met John Carpenter and had lunch with him. And I met George Romero at a comic book convention.
Oh, cool.
But both cases, I'm just like, yeah, you're a great guy. I feel bad. The chat's turned against me.
If the chat's like Halloween. Okay.
Halloween's terrible.
Hey, Christine. What about Christine? Do you like Christine?
I haven't seen Christine in a while.
Assault on Precinct 13. I mean, movies like that. I mean, I think sometimes people forget like what. And looking back through that lens.
Yeah, a period of like 10 years where he made some really good stuff, and then afterwards, it's like you don't remember what he even made.
Yeah,
that's fair to say.
Well, when you have like I said, Ghost on Mars. I mean, you look
Halloween
at
H2O,
Marilyn Manson reject that's going the whole time.
Halloween Water. I like to call it Halloween Water. It was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, and a lot of these movies are cash grabs. After a while, he did not make a lot of money too.
Cash grab. Yeah, terrible film. It was a disgusting,
He'll tell you,
terrible
like,
movie.
a lot of those later movies are cash grabs. He said that, with remakes, he said, I don't care as long as I get paid. I mean, he says that in interviews, so it's kind of funny.
Shameless.
Coronis says Nasser is Juice from Sons of Anarchy. Juice. I don't remember Juice.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you should look that up because that's who you are. Harry Bergeron. I always do that when someone says you look just like. I look them up and see what they think I look like. Harry Bergeron, $2. We're only gatekeeping our wallets. Yeah, that's right, man. Right on. Lucifer Love Monkey, $2. Glad to see you, Tug. Everyone loves that umbrella guy. He has become a legend. Congratulations on passing 8,000 subscribers, my friend.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I never thought I would be looking at you. You actually said, "Hey, you'll pass 10,000 and beyond pretty soon." And I thought, no, never. 8,000 now, man. Going along. So you're
going to hit 10,000 by the end of the month. By the end of September.
I think I sent you that thing just a few months ago at 4,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's just well, that's it's good that it shows that there are more and more comic consumers listening, though. I mean, more and more people know.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, I'm glad that like you found a way to speak to a larger audience and to pull in people. The more I watch this expand, I'm like, hell yeah, you guys have the marketing strategy. I'm glad that you listen to us consumers bitch and moan, because that's basically what we do a lot.
Yeah. I know. Listen, the Umbrella Guy and Yellow Flash to me are like tier 3 of ComicsGate. It's like first there was Captain Cummings and Diversity Comics. They were tier 1, and then I came on, and I'm trying to think, was anybody with me? I think I kind of came on by myself. Tier 3, it's like Umbrella Guy, Yellow Flash. I mean, great ComicsGate YouTubers. I'm sure many others that I can't think of right now, but oh my God, you guys are, both of you, kicking ass. You're very, very important voices, and if you aren't subscribed to that Umbrella Guy and the Yellow Flash, you need to. Is it Yellow? Oh, Yellow Flash Comics. I think that's what he's called.
Yeah, he's got basically two channels set up there. Yellow Flash Comics needs more subscribers, so definitely hit the.
Yeah. Weaponized Nerd Rage is probably on the same tier as me. Somebody brings him up. Yeah, we probably are close to the same thing. But I mean, you guys came out. You guys are the young ones.
What about Douglas Ernst?
Doug Ernst is up there with Captain Cummings. They all started together. And Diversity in Comics talks about that. He talks about how it used to just be like him and Englentine and Captain Cummings and Ernst, and they would just sit there and make videos and talk about them all the time with each other and talk about their theories. It's good. It's good. All right, so everyone's happy to see that Umbrella Guy. Scott Knox says, any new Star Wars toy reviews coming up? I thought about that today, and I was like, do I want to make a toy review in the midst of this ComicsGate blow up right now?
No.
I don't feel like time. I mean, it's irresponsible almost. Like, when these SJWs are just totally spurging out, and they are like right now, they're everywhere talking.
The moment.
I gotta talk about ComicsGate, and we gotta talk about what they're doing and point out their lies. I can't be putting together a TIE fighter, on camera while this is happening. Unfortunately, because I have a great TIE fighter over there that I haven't opened yet.
As fun as it would be, right? As fun as it would be to be like, hey, I want to take a moment to put this TIE fighter together away from all the drama and all the stuff that's happening. It does seem irresponsible, especially when you have such a huge platform and many people are depending on you to talk about the important issues. I think there's a time for assembling TIE fighters, but that time's not now.
Yeah. They're saying check my subs. Am I losing subs? Are you guys doing that thing where you? Looks like I have more subs. I
got
didn't
more
know
subs
where I
than usual.
was. So yeah, I've got. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So I don't know. I missed that joke, guys. If you did that, I'm sorry. I usually I look at my subs and when they tease me by dropping out, I notice it, but I missed it this time. So let's see.
You're not
here.
mundane Matt, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, do you think when I hit 10,000 subs, do you think if I pay Mundane Matt, like, do you think he'll cry on stream for me?
I'll kick in for it.
He might.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
He'll lose more subs, and then he'll use the money that you paid him to buy fake subs.
More. Are you seeing that? He bought himself 2,000 subscribers.
Oh my
he's
God.
buying them every few days. Yeah, and
Yeah,
within
I saw that actually.
in 5 minutes, to get like 5,000 new subs. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
dude.
he did it twice actually. If I'm looking at the numbers right,
Twice,
he
yeah.
has a spike, and then later on he has another spike. Yeah, so like he did it 2 times within the scope of a week. So yeah, it's very noticeable too.
Well, if you guys can tell all of your followers to go to the caution zone, I'm going to be doing launching it big time next week, but I'm going to be doing a couple B Hennessy's after dark. Going to get a little edgy, fun, talk about fun stuff. So if you want to join, we'll hang out
Awesome.
on my channel, my baby channel.
Brother. Are you leaving?
No, I'll hang out for a little bit longer.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying goodbye.
No. I'm just saying with all the cool, new channels, and that's the other thing, guys. I'm bringing on a couple little, very small independent guys that that reach out to me on Facebook. I'm going to bring them over to YouTube and not jerk around. I'm definitely going to follow my own rule of punching up, muting down. But most of my effort's going to be on YouTube to talk to new creators about why they're creating, what they're creating, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. It's a known fact that hats accelerate hair loss, says Chris W. Wow.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm wearing hats my whole life.
Yeah. Well, it accelerates hair loss. If you're already losing your hair, wearing a hat is going to make it.
Well, it's going to fuck up your
I
skeleton.
don't know. I've worn that leather hat for years since I went to Australia, and I still got hair.
Let's see. I heard from Phil. He is good, says Mike Soilo. I hope you guys make up your both. Oh, Phil Cummings, Captain Cummings. Hope you guys make up your both stand-up dudes. It's on him. I mean, I don't know what else I have to do. I've extended the olive branch 6 times. I understand when people aren't feeling well, they lash out. I don't care. Like, I'm so happy. Like, my life literally is so good right now. I will forgive you 3 times. It's fine. I'll take it on the chin. And if he wants to come back and and be buds again and get back involved with this group of comic skaters, man, that'd be great. I'd love that. I would.
Come to my little channel.
Yeah, he was fun, man. I kept inviting him on, and it was like I had Captain Cummings on my channel for a little while.
Yeah,
and it was really fun. I thought he was enjoying it, but you look back on it now, and you look at if you go to watch those videos where he's live streaming, you look at the look on his face, the smile, and it's more of a smirk. Like he's thinking, what an asshole.
No, I don't. No way. That was the good times. That was the good.
No. Because it was right before he blew up at me. So you know what it was. Like I had him on. The last time I had him on was the night that we were closing out the first month of Cyberpunk Blood Honey, and we hit $400,000 that night. We're drinking.
Yeah.
We went all night long, and we made $40,000 that night. And now, so if you're Phil, and Phil is not making that kind of money, and Phil is looking at this. By the way, this isn't my money. It's like I have to make I have to make a bunch of stuff with this, and then pay a lot of taxes. So this isn't that great. It's great, but it's not like that. It's not
not for life.
Right. It's not going to change my life in any way. But you see that, and you just I'm looking at him, and I'm just going. Look at him smile. It's my Captain Cummings. He's sitting there the whole time thinking, "What a fucking asshole!"
And slap him in his mouth. I want to slap him right. Yeah.
And he turns around and plays video games. He's like, "Well, I'm not leaving the stream. I'll stay on the stream, but I'm turning my back to you."
Wow.
I thought it was just to kill time, but that's what that was. And it's like,
that is so rude.
But he was so great to me. We right around that same time we had a live stream, one of the best I ever had with anybody. I was at my my old comic book shop I went to, and
Man, I hope people don't begrudge you guys because you make money. I mean, come on, if that's part of this. It's part of being excited. If you're actually a comic book fan, not just a consumer, but a fan of it, seeing people that will interact at this level. I mean, I look at it like, yeah, Captain Cummings was on here. Hopefully, he never saw it like that. I'm like, hell, I get a Comic-Con for free. I can come on here. That's beautiful.
No, absolutely. But no, I considered him a friend. I considered him a friend. I don't know. So it makes me sad. Yeah, I don't know. Another chance. My mind. I'm not mad. I'm ready to talk. Sal Vader, thanks for $9.99. Somebody mentioned on a live chat once that Daisy Ridley had a nude scene. I took one for the team and looked it up. She was portraying a corpse when it happened.
Oh.
Okay. It was her best acting to date.
Oh man,
that's icy cold, so to speak. Icy cold, so to speak. Amazing. Darius D. Armstrong, $5. I'm working hard on my style, and I hope to have my comic up there with all of you. Glad to see you too, Ben. Darius, don't work on your style. Don't work on a style. Work on drawing. Your style is going to happen naturally. Your style is going to come from the shortcuts you take in trying to portray reality with lines. It's just going to happen. It's not like you have to go, well, this guy puts lines down this way. That's not what you need to be working on. Work on your drawing. Work on rendering. Work on breaking down reality into lines. Okay, and then it's not gonna look real. You're gonna fuck it up, and that'll become your style. That's kind of the way style develops. It's like you try to exaggerate form, fail, it becomes a style. Let's see. I'm at school watching this, says Todd Rector. I'm glad. Chris W, thank you for $1.99. Your taste in movies is worse than Zach's. Wrong, dude. Wrong. My taste in movies is exquisite. Believe it. Believe
What's
it.
your favorite
I'm just
film?
honest. Favorite film is Citizen Kane and Psycho. A big Orson Welles fan. Yeah, a big Orson Welles and Alfred Hitchcock fan. I know that's kind of cliched, but for real, I have it all. And
Masters.
I relate to Orson Welles. I wish I was Orson Welles. I wish I knew him.
Just don't turn into a drunk and do a bunch of wine ads, when you're really old and you have to.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, look, it could happen. I relate to the fact that, he was a little bit of a troll. I'm a troll. I relate to the fact that I like Orson Welles because Orson Welles also ate. He lived life. He went out, he'd do a radio show. He'd do radio shows all over New York City. And he, in order to get from one place to the next in New York City, he'd hire an ambulance. So he'd sit in the ambulance while the sirens wailed, and he wouldn't have to sit in traffic. And it would take him from one building to the next. So he did trolly things. He trolled powerful people. He always punched up. We're going to use that. He always went after the biggest people who he felt were irresponsible. I love the establishment. Yeah. I mean, look at the entirety of Citizen Kane is on.
It's all about going against the establishment. Yeah, the whole thing.
It's not. It's like, okay, so the establishment is William Randolph Hearst, who multi-millionaire during the Great Depression. I mean, this was a very powerful man.
He'd be a trillionaire nowadays.
Oh yeah. He ran yellow journalism essentially. He made his own stories. He was legendary in Hollywood. People hung out with him. People were afraid of him. Okay. And here's what a troll Orson Welles is, and this is why I love Citizen Kane. And people don't talk about this about Citizen Kane, but they talk about Rosebud. It's all this stuff. The whole point of Citizen Kane, okay, was that Orson Welles knew that William Randolph Hearst called his girlfriend's the woman he was cheating with, his girlfriend's vagina Rosebud. He knew that one little personal fact about William Randolph Hearst. It was rumored. It got to Orson Welles' ears, and he planned an entire classic film to troll William Randolph Hearst by saying, "I know what you call your girlfriend's pussy." Oh, and that's the whole thing. So William Randolph Hearst is in the movie theater and watching this movie with people going, "Rosebud, what's Rosebud? We've got to find out what Rosebud means." That's what Citizen Kane is. What were his last words were Rosebud. We got to find out what Rosebud is. And so you wait until the movie. William Randolph Hearst sitting there gripping the seats, gripping his seats, and going, they're going to reveal that what Rosebud is. And you wait until the last minute to reveal that. Now we're just fucking with you. It's a sled. So that's why Orson Welles is my favorite filmmaker. That's why Citizen Kane is my favorite movie. It's the ultimate trolling of like a powerful person, you know, using art. And that's in my heart. So people don't talk about the why, you know, Citizen Kane is an important movie. That's why it's great.
He
Watch
had
that movie with
Rosebud,
that
you have
emotion.
Rose Tico.
Yeah, Rose Tico. That's how I will die. I'll drop a little Rose Tico action figure. I'll go Rose Tico, and they'll say, those were his last words. Why? I don't know. Go down to his basement. Rose Tico was all over the basement. All right, so yeah, so my taste in movies is great. Great loaner, $5. Ethan, don't reveal too much of your Cyberpunk plans. I don't trust Mark Waid not to try something to screw over. Well, I already said these people are welcome to try. I will counter. I will go to war with anybody who tries to get in between my customers and me. They need to be able to buy Cyberfrog if they want to. Certainly, these shops have every right to not carry Cyberfrog if they choose not to. And that is fine. By the way, Yellow Flash Comics, $2. Your movie taste is as bad as DNC's. Yeah,
I think NASA needs a new chair.
Was that his chair? That
that was his chair. Yeah.
Lord, I thought I witnessed a murder.
I know. Sound like he sat on 3 cats.
Listen, Master, do not ever change the chair. That is your muse for your horror writing, bro. It's creepy. It's creepy. You need to keep it. At least keep it in a corner. Don't throw it away.
We're gonna have like $100,000 stretch goal for me to get a new chair.
Yellow Flash says movie taste is as bad as DNC's. Yellow Flash, why are you in here? Why do you sit in the all right. Corona Stall 99 unsubbed. How dare you pan Halloween, Ethan? It's just boring. It's okay. And it revolutionized. It was a new kind of movie, and you have to respect that. But it's not like the new kind of movie that it created was good. I mean, it led to Friday the 13th, and you know, it's you know, they're fun. I guess they're fun movies. They're, you know, Corrupt $5. Tug, what do you think of the racism of SJWs denying mine and the race of other minority tweeters? I sent you the tweet.
Oh yeah, I was looking at that actually. So Corrupt, you know, Corrupt is a lefty this is his own description, lefty bisexual black guy, and he was talking to someone else that was basically denying that he was all of that. So he posted pictures of his hands, you know, with a message written on it, and still deny. But of course, that's the game. I've seen females. When the girl from Ipanema, she actually B. Clay Moore came into something and kept saying, that's just a dude, dismiss them. So she posted a picture. You can't deny she's a female. And he still did that. He's still just like these people. That's what they do. They deny people agency, their favorite, you know, word. If you leave out a letter on he or she, you know, you take that S and remove it. Someone wants to identify the other way, or, you know, you add it and they don't want it. Well, you're denying them their humanity or their agency.
You're
but then they
a
turn
white
around
male. A fucking white male.
Correct me if I'm so that B. Clay Moore guy, because you know the history. He was the one that was trying to launch an attack to get Richard Meyer to punch him or punch somebody, right?
He was setting in a chat. Well, it's even worse than that, because you look at the people that are in that room with him. You have Taylor Esposito, Jody Hauser, Kelly Thompson, and many others. So you have all of these pros from all of these different places. And he's talking about, goading him into violence, which is really leaked out to them.
Sure. They didn't know for sure if he had PTSD or what at the time. They just knew he was a vet that they hated, right?
Yeah, they wanted to goad him into violence. They were talking about how.
So let me tell you this, Tug. I offered to that guy, B. Clay Moore, I'd fly him down first class to Jacksonville, Florida. I would get him from a limousine, pick him up at the airport, feed him a wonderful steak. We have a gym here. We have a gym here locally that we can live stream a wonderful, fair charity boxing match. 2 fat old guys. It'll be funny. We'll live stream.
He's not
going to come down. He's a coward.
I'll fly him out. I will charter a private plane. And here's the thing: all the winnings can go. All the winnings will go to pay back his customers that he ripped off like a thief, the $20,000 for Hawaiian Dick. And if he beats me, I will get a Hawaiian Dick tattoo on my arm.
He looks like an aging version of Shrek or something. I mean, he cannot lose more teeth. I'm just telling you. Like, you hit him one good time, and I mean,
he was trying to fight a Marine. You know who could kick my ass? Richard Meyer. So if he wanted to fight that guy, who am I? Come and take me out.
Have you seen that picture of his buck teeth, man? Anybody could whoop that guy's ass.
Yeah.
More.
People kept calling him,
There he
you know when he's Future Biff from the Back to the Future. That's what they kept calling him.
Call all of us Nazis. They want to punch a Nazi. I offer a nice charity boxing match, and then they're running away.
I know you stuck your chin out for them. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they go for it? I don't know. You talked Ben into fighting B. Claymore MMA. Says Coronas.
You did.
You know he's willing to do it. I don't know what to say. You know,
it'll be fun. Come on, it's boxing.
I can get to Chicago real quick. And I know that Tim Doyle goes there. I'd love to do like a charity boxing match and see how his boxing skills have progressed. But he never took me up on it.
You know, I mean, they can put their lies. You know, and I thought I was very kind. I said, look, everything you're saying about ComicsGate is a collective. Just prove it, evidence. I will call the police. I know I've worked in law enforcement.
Why? Stop saying that again. I gotta get you off of that.
Can't do it.
I gotta get you off of that.
All right.
You can't say things like that because you know how could they? This is the thing. It's like prove I killed my wife when your wife is still here. You know that you didn't kill your wife. Why are you asking them to prove something that you know is not true about yourself?
Not about myself, really about you.
About ComicsGate,
right? And what it is that they say these things and they're spreading lies to a potential fan base. When all of these,
you keep saying to them, you keep allowing them to make the allegation by saying, "Prove it, prove it, prove it."
I mean, it's a defensive stance. Like I think
agree, but they already make the allegation. Is my point. They already make the allegation and people believe it. So if somebody's putting money up.
Regular people don't believe it. Weirdos.
Yeah, I think you know the election showed that. How many people actually bought it? Well, we have a president saying that they were wrong about how well their rhetoric carries over. So yeah, I mean when you're talking about comic pros out there, anyone can do basic research on that too.
Yeah, I'll get off that. But what it really does, I'll tell you from my experience, 2 local comic book stores canceled covers, and a comic pro dropped out because they believed what that Bill guy wrote.
Well, that's going to happen, Ben. So you can sue him.
I am.
To sue him. Yeah,
I'm doing it.
But I mean, you know, that's a thing you can do. But I mean, arguing with them, this is welcome to culture war. That's what this is, pal. And you've got to fight it smart. You got to fight it smart. You can't. You don't want to get in the. And this is the thing that I used to tell Zach all the time. I said, stop fighting individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep fighting individuals all the time. You go, oh well, this person said this. So what? You know, really, you're just lifting these individuals up and making them more important than they are, and they're not important. You know, get out there and talk about the big issues. Talk about what's great. Stand up for ComicsGate the way these people think they're standing up for mainstream comics. You know, there's
passion. I mean, Ben is very. You are very passionate. You can bring in a lot of people with that passion, man. So I mean.
I've got replies of people saying, "Wow, you know, I really thought that I'll show on Facebook and Twitter. I've got more replies from people saying, "Wow, you know, you really put those guys in their place." And for years, I heard
those posts where you're like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!"
Yeah, I saw those posts. I was like, "What is going on?"
Damn straight.
Why did I not kick your ass?
Yellow flag. I'm so glad yellow flag.
I stand by every word proudly. And they are not going to, I mean, but they couldn't prove it. So I had hundreds of people. Number 1, coming to Cautionary Comics. Number 2, I made thousands of dollars. Number 3, it just showed how foolish liars what it is, the cult. And I actually had one of the comic book stores call me and say, "Wow, man, thank you for calling those people out. We thought you guys were really a hate group." And I said, well, prove it.
Far from it.
Well, one thing I think we should do, especially on the ComicsGate side, is the other side loves to promote what they hate, what they dislike, what's wrong with the industry, et cetera, et cetera. What we should do is what we love, what we like, what we want to see the industry as. Totally. Because, you know, we saw that in the election with Trump, where there was so much negativity about what we dislike and what we hate and what we don't want. And no one's saying what we want, what we like, and what we want to buy. And that's what I think we should do as ComicsGaters. We should show the fans and the industry, this is what people are wanting. This is what we are doing, and this is what we like. Yes, I understand you don't like me, you hate me, or you even want to do me harm or whatever, but I am still giving the fans what they have been wanting, and we as creators, what we have been wanting to create.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Where I messed up was not listening to myself and punching down. But I have no problem punching up. I think it's a problem that they can just so casually lie and slander and slur people. You know, it's not.
But they can, because that's what they're doing. They're going to talk about what's bad about ComicsGate, in their opinion. And you know, Ben, you have a chance to talk about something positive. Instead of defending and answering their charges, their spurious, specious, stupid charges about ComicsGate, stand up and talk about why it's great. That's what I do. I try to talk about what's great about what we're doing. Zach can go through and he can talk about why the comic industry is dying.
Right.
I don't want to. That's not what I want to do. Sometimes I have to do it, you know, to contextualize where we're coming from. But for the most part, I want to talk about why what we're doing is the right thing for comics and for creators. And people are going to argue. There are going to be people who do not agree, and they're allowed. You know, I'm not going to. You know, I don't. Never been for enforcing speech codes or getting upset like that. The right people are going to agree, and they're going to come with us and try it out. We've got Ben Jones here right now. We got Nasser. We got Ben Hennessy. We got all kinds of people, you know, sitting here in this chat right now that are creative people who want to be a part of what ComicsGate is because they just want to sell comics to people. So you can either get down in the dirt with you. We're at 30,000 feet in the air looking down at them. Why do you want to go down with them and argue?
Yeah, no, that's you're totally right about that.
Just
totally right. Definitely the lower ones. Definitely the lower ones. I think
be happy.
Yeah, totally.
Just be happy.
I said my piece. I think.
Okay. Oh, and don't worry, Ben. I feel you, man. I'm from the South too. When these guys come at me, I'm ready to go. You know, dial it up to 10 and right back at him.
I'm not even going with my. I'm not challenging them in the street. I'm saying charity boxing, and I'll.
But even in social media, when I've tried to approach these guys with logical arguments and break it down for them, they're not even able to recognize where I make good points.
Totally.
They're just holding on to their idealism, no matter what, no matter if it's wrong, no matter if it's correct, and they continue forward, no matter what, with this agenda. So it just got to the point to me is, you know, that old saying, don't argue with idiots, because people from a distance, people can't tell the difference.
Right.
I'm just sitting back. It's like I'm arguing with an idiot. And I know if everybody's looking from the outside, no one's going to know who's the idiot in this conversation or this argument. So I just kind of walked away from them like, well, you know, good luck in your future endeavors. You know,
I'm with you. I'm going to handle what I can't handle legally. My legal team, I've done it for 15 years. They're going to take care of this BS, and I'm making my stories. And
yes,
parties.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm just creating comics as much as I can when I can, and if they want to tear me down because of it, guess what? I'm still happy because I still created the stories that I wanted to.
Oh, me too. It's still worth it. Don't get me wrong. Making my own stuff, working with Chuck Dixon, hanging out with all of you, collaborating, still worth it. Even with the harassment, but it's just amazing. You guys have been fighting this culture war, or seeing it a lot longer than I have, right? I kind of thought it was BS hearing all this culture war stuff, people talking about it, because day to day in corporate America, it's not that big of an issue. You know, you go about your business, you do your thing. But yeah, no, they definitely are. The best way I can explain it is a cult-like thinking, and you know, you just got to keep at bay. I just say that when the head of the snake pops out and somebody with 50,000 followers says your business is a hate group, white supremacist, that has to be responded to in some way. But you're right. It should be through the courts.
Yeah. And I don't see how these people survive in the real world. They have this.
They have 30 roommates, man. I mean,
yeah, I guess
welfare, they have food stamps, they have flatmates, they have no car because they all live in the city. So
yeah, it's like,
it
what
really
do you have?
Doesn't cost them that much to live, to be honest. When you share a 2-bedroom apartment with 7 people and you don't have a car, so you're not paying insurance, or you don't have a car note, you have food stamps, you probably get a little bit of government assistance for your housing. They're not doesn't cost them that much. So they can sit there and shit online, and
some of these people are ungrateful as hell too when they do get something. Like I said, I've been watching that Alterna thing, and I'm seeing Peter Samedi talking about how, hey, you know, I actually published a book with you in it. This is how you're gonna, you know, repay me with that. And they're like, oh, I published you at one time, you know, or distancing. I mean, it's just, I think I'll cover that more because it's amazing to see everybody who doesn't walk lockstep, showcasing their own words. I mean, that's a better argument than arguing with them. They showcase how dumb they are, like 10 times a day.
That mindset burns me up the most out of anything else that we have discussed. That mindset burns me up the most because I was just on I Love Comics with Ingleteen last night. And I even stated there, I fought my way out of the projects and off of welfare and off of food stamps growing up as a child. As a black child in the projects, what you would normally expect in America today, that I should be in jail, on drugs, and or both, or dead. And I fought my way out. I went into the Air Force. I've made a career for myself, and now I'm a contractor for NASA. And I'm also doing comic books. So you can't tell me that you can't get up off your ass, go to work hard, figure out a way, even if the system is rigged against you, learn the game, learn the rules, and push forward. You got two choices in life. You got progress and you got excuses. Choose one.
Yeah, you're right.
Amen.
And that's where I stand.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't want to look internally for problems. When you hear all of these people, they say reprehensible things, or they showcase reprehensible ideology. They don't want to look internally and say, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe the tens of thousands of fans saying, I'm tired of this shit, I'm walking away. Maybe they're not the problem. Maybe you're the problem. And ultimately,
they don't think
if it's costing you money, you probably need to reset. I mean, regardless, even if you think you're in the right.
They think they're celebrities, man. They sell 10,000 copies of Uncanny X-Men. They're big time.
Well,
because the industry is enabling them. The industry is enabling them. When they go out there and promote this agenda, they're saying, "Oh, good job," and they refuse to come back home and look at their paycheck and wondering why the lights are off because you couldn't pay it.
I surveyed, I've been working on a survey to talk to LCSs. Now, I've talked to 27 so far to see how much volume they move out of comic books. And my number right now is at 46%. That's what they're moving. So can you imagine going in and buying products only to move 46% of it? And then, these celebrities, as you're talking about, these people out here that think they're bigger than the customer, they are costing you. Your livelihood is attached to it, because ultimately they may hurt themselves if they're independent bringing something, but who they really cripple is the local comic shop, anyone distributing their books. Those people, if I were a comic shop owner, I would be really pissed. And, they've tried to speak up before, too. At San Diego Comic-Con, they tried to be heard, and they were labeled racists and misogynists and all of that stuff as well. So there is no fix for them. The more I look at this, the more I know that there's no reasoning. There's no fix for this. The way you fix it is you walk towards something else. That's why I like ComicsGate. I like the fact that there is a walk away from. A lot of us point out walk away, but we have to always keep in mind that there is something to walk toward. And that's what, all of you guys are providing. That's why I like that.
Yeah, we're just trying to give everybody an option. Okay, if you don't like those books, and you know Marvel and DC, if they're going this route, this agenda, and you as a fan, you don't like that direction, you don't like this books, you don't like the cringy artists that they have now, you want something better, especially for the price point that comics are, come to ComicsGate. We'll do you right. We'll treat you right. We'll talk with the fans. We'll have a good time.
Damn, I like Ben. I like Ben. That's the tone of voice that I want to hear. That's the attitude that I want to hear. I don't want to hear any of this. They're calling us Nazis, and we're not Nazis. Fuck that. Like, ignore all of that. They're lying. I want to hear people giving the pitch, talking about why ComicsGate is the place to be. Why what we're doing is right, and it's good, and it's positive. It's a good movement. We want
don't bother with all the don't bother all the prove I'm not a Nazi. Now fuck that. Who cares? Like, these people are losers. They're fucking losers.
They are, and
these people don't even know what a Nazi is.
Some of them are, man, but that guy Bill, 50,000 followers, somebody with 100,000 followers.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter.
BuzzFeed wrote about me. They call me far right. I don't give a shit. I'm not far right. I don't care.
But okay, this goes to the other Ben. This has been the Ben conversation. Listen, when your fans come to you and you show them the exact opposite of what these guys have been promoting, this stuff is going to spread. You're going to give it time. You're going to have to let it marinate. You're going to have to let it simmer for a minute. But as more people come to you and they speak with you and they have a good time, it's going to go out into social media, and then it's going to be proven wrong.
For sure, for sure.
That's right.
It's
People will
the,
talk to you.
It's the
People,
bigger ones that I'm just going to do. Punching down, not a dot. The bigger ones, though, that cost, you know, I mean, it's quantifiable. You know, $7,000 to $10,000 out of my pocket.
Oh, I understand. Sure. It's going to cost us. I mean, going forward, there will be no, there will be no easy path for us to go forward. It will cost us in the beginning, but I think in the end, we are going to reap the rewards for our vigilance and for our attitude and for our merit of character here.
Ben Jones is officially, he's going to be on every show.
It's only when you get me fired up. It's only when you get me fired up.
I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm so tired of the negativity and the defeatism. I mean, I need to rally the troops. I need everyone to be excited.
I agree with everything you all are saying. I agree with everything you all are saying. The only difference is if there's somebody with a big weapon.
People in the chat are asking who Ben is. I don't think I've ever met Ben.
Ben Jones, creator of Asgard. Indiegogo campaign. It hasn't been launched yet. It's going to be launched September 8th. And we are going to promote the living hell out of it. Ben Jones is what is the heart of ComicsGate. He is saying everything that I once said. He's saying everything that I believe in my heart about this movement and why it's going to help people, why it's going to help comic book creators, why it's going to help the fans, why it's going to ultimately help the entire industry. You know, it doesn't matter. Again, here's what you have to come to terms with. What you have to come to terms with is you can't convince everybody. There will be SJWs. You will never turn them. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in trying to convince people who are predisposed politically, ideologically, to hate me because of the way I vote. I'm not interested in that. It's not interesting. It's not possible. It's a waste of my time.
Use them as a foil. Use them as a foil, you know, and convince the people in the middle, the silent majority, the people who love comics, who are passionate about comics. Convince those people.
I think that's what you know. When we look at
it is those people we're trying to reach.
Well, when we look at it, that's why I like utilizing these people's own words. You know, when it's just like reporting on anything. You know, if you're you're showcasing the people in the middle what comic books looks like. You know, what you're walking away from. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy trolling, hell yeah. You know, I sometimes like that. But you know, going out and trying to prove like trying to deflect against a qualifier like Nazi racist. I mean, it's just a qualifier. That's the way to ignore, well, this Nazi comic book pro. If people get hung up on Nazi, they forget everything else about you. That's their game, screw their game.
Yeah, see, I just still looked at it a little different. If I had a computer, let's say I had a consulting business, the competing consulting business says that you are a Muslim terrorist. That impacts your business, you take them to court.
Yeah, you're looking at business wise. That so right there, you're in a lawsuit right there.
We're talking about PR here.
Business need.
Okay, you're right. Hey, on the PR side, you guys are absolutely. I agree with all that. On the business side, I just see it a little different.
I mean,
okay. Brian the Observer, thanks for $5. Will help ComicsGate in any way I can with my channel. Currently looking for an artist. Brian the Observer, big Mystery Science Theater fan, I guess. Cool. Mellow E, thanks for $5. Morning all. I backed Kill All Men T-shirt tier. How do I make sure I get my shirt? Tug rules.
So we are also going to be reaching out for some special gifts to everybody that got the T-shirt, and some cool stuff coming. So you're going to get a special email for all my T-shirt published people, and it's going to be a special T-shirt from the other ones we're about to put up on Crypto Fashion.
Great Loner, thanks for $5. If you still want to hook a PS4 controller to your new PC, buy a Bluetooth adapter and it will be picked up quick. Great show as always. Hey, thanks.
You don't need to do that. You can just use USB. I mean, you're not sitting 10 feet away from the computer desk.
Yeah, not at all. So it's not a bad idea. Say, Rob, thanks for $2. The normalization of degeneracy won't work. That's right, of course. We love comics, $5. I'd be more than happy to promote any of your comics on my comic channel. Great, thank you. Thanks. Mark C, $2. Offense wins battles, not defense. Offense. Be on the offense. Chris W, $4.99. The moral dilemma is that I don't want to walk away from my local comic shop. We'll meet you halfway, Chris. We'll get there. Just give us a little bit more time. Steve Eames, $2. Preach it, Ben Jones, man. Everyone is fired up by Ben Jones. That's great. Anthony Vogel, 50. DKK, ignore the accusations from the SJWs. It's all Kafka traps where you defending yourself is proof of guilt.
Exactly. Thank you. Gamergate learned this a long time ago. Defending yourself, pointless.
No,
Actually
you're right.
pointless.
At a PR perspective, you're right. I think the court of law views it a little different, right? And you can find damages there,
Yeah.
seek restitution there, but you guys are all right on the PR side.
You got to be Hulk Hogan. You know, you gotta
Yep.
solicit. What's his face? The billionaire, the guy who runs. God, I can't remember the company.
I don't need him. My guys are more vicious.
And just sue the shit out of Gawker. Boom, it's dead.
You know, one thing about the comic industry that's real nice though is when you don't have to sell anything, and you can literally like do whatever you want. You can show people your asshole, and you won't get fired. You can do whatever you want. Some good job security.
Mhm.
I mean, that is assault. I mean, if you're at my company, that is legal liability to me. If somebody's showing their never mind. I mean, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying, like, the
one day
it's not for the rabid SJWs. You can't convince them of anything. It's for the people in the middle. The people in the middle, they will see people calling you a Nazi, and they will look into you, and they'll see, you know, they'll talk to you. And yeah, many of them are just going to listen to what the SJWs are telling them, and that's where the damages are, right? If you can prove damages, good. You know, take them to court, whatever.
You know, I got all yesterday during the Jacksonville shooting, all the messages where I turned, you know, all the kill Nazi die Nazi die, hope your Nazi family dies, hope your white supremacist children die, you know, and I turned it up. But I went and looked through all of it. They were the most lily white liberal college kids in the world. There was not one person of any other ethnicity but my own attacking me out of probably 100 tweets, direct messages. It was amazing to see.
There's one thing I wanted to say too, especially with Ethan here, because I know there's been a guy on Twitter, Iron Jedi, that I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out because he's been trying to get in touch with Ethan, but it ain't gonna be the shout out that he think he's gonna get. Look here, man. I want you to take this, Iron Jedi. If you're listening to this or listen to this later, I want you to take this to heart. Get up off your ass and do something. I understand that you have an idea. It might be the best idea, it might be the worst idea, but you haven't put any skins in the game. You don't have anything written, apparently. You don't have any art, apparently. You don't have anything done that actually construes to be a comic book. So if that is the fact, then why are you asking for our help? You haven't done nothing. Do something. I'm getting tired of these people keep coming to ComicsGate with their hands out saying, well, I'm entitled to. Ethan is such a big guy. He should give out more. Ethan doesn't have to give you a goddamn thing.
Yep.
Period. He don't have to give you a damn thing. I feel appreciative and happy that he was able to reach out his hand and let me on the show. Everybody don't get to come on the show, and everybody doesn't have to have a book that comes out. You might be trash. Your book might be trash. Your idea might be trash. It does not have an entitlement to be published, does not have an entitlement to be pushed, does not have 1 ounce of entitlement. A lot of us artists, a lot of us writers, and a lot of us creators, and a lot of us fans still have work to do. We got to do work for this. We're not getting anything for free. The fans are coming to us and giving us money because they like the product that we are producing. And that's how our familiarity with everything else has grown. So if I am not able to produce a product, why in the hell should I come onto this show and say, hey guys, I just want to thank Ethan for having me on. I just want to sit here and talk so I can get more clicks on Twitter. No. And in simple terms, fuck you, go away, come back with something, and then we'll talk.
Yeet.
Please.
The entitlement thing is a big problem in the culture itself as well, and
It's weird, man.
Hey, why don't they?
I read some of that guy.
Actually, no.
Or
that
my
guy's tirade was weird. I read some of it and I just went, you're disrespecting Mike Miller, and you're telling Mike Miller to prove that we're cool by inviting you on. He said, "Get me on Ethan's channel." Man, I'm sympathetic to go-getters. Look at Nasser. I mean, Nasser's the guy I use for an example. Nasser was a pain in the ass, but like Nasser was all about, hey, I'm going to do this whether you help me or not. And he was always like solicitous of help. He never went away. He tried really hard. He knocked on every door, every angle. He
even hit me up in DMs all the time.
Yeah,
Hey, can you talk about my comic? Can I come on your stream? Hey, like every day.
And let me
He
ask,
wore me down, man. He
Yeah,
wore
A
me
guy
down.
like that is going to succeed. Now, this guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know his work. I have no reason. You know, this show, ComicsGate Live, I mean, I'm lucky because it's working. I mean, we have 1,115 viewers right now. Every time we go live, we're over 1,000. Sometimes we get up to 1,700, 1,800 viewers. That's great. I'm going to keep doing it. People like seeing indie creators talk about ComicsGate, be excited about their work. They like this. For the most part, except for a few recent examples, these are positive streams that make people feel good and get excited. And we do talk about, you know, what it's like to start a movement like this. And it's a challenge, you know, trying to find our way and maneuver our way as a little tiny, apple tree. I like Cecil's apple tree analogy. Just trying to find our way, as a small idea, versus this corporate conglomerate that seems to just want to stomp us down. I mean, I don't understand this whole thing about stopping ComicsGate. Why you leave us the fuck alone? You know what I mean? You bullies.
Yeah.
You want to talk about bullies? Why don't you leave us alone, man? We're just a handful of creators who are only doing this because you made it impossible in the mainstream. You made it impossible. And so you say, go off, get out of here. We don't want you drawing our superheroes. All right, so we'll draw ours over here. And now you see that we're raising millions of dollars, and now you want to stomp us out again? You can't. It should be clear by now. It should be clear that wherever you put us, we're going to succeed. Wherever you put ComicsGate creators, we're going to succeed because we have talent. And talent wins the day. Talent beats talent and storytelling ability, drawing ability. It beats all of your propaganda. It beats all of your speeches, all of your virtue signaling. Every single time we are going to win. We're going to be more interesting because we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We just put out our comics and people buy them. And they buy them. And, what exactly is the problem with that? If we're away from you, we're not hurting you. We're not asking for anything from you. We have nothing to do with you. Leave us alone.
And as the leader of ComicsGate, I'd like to say one thing. Come on our little channels. Nasser's channel, I got 200 people. We're all growing. Maybe everybody won't be on all I'm not on every live stream, but reach out. We'd be happy to check you out. Maybe you start there and grow in the community, and we all help each other out. But we're here to help anybody, YouTube or not, I think.
Well, yeah. So that's all. That's all I can say. It's a weird thing about ComicsGate. But anyway, the point is, this is working right now. It's working. It's pretty cool. People like this. To go on Twitter and assume that you're entitled to be here when nobody here is entitled to be here except for me. I'm the only one who's entitled to be here. It's my channel. I appreciate everybody coming on here. They're invited on here because they're fascinators. That's what Johnny Carson used to call them, fascinators.
Fascinators.
Yeah, people who are able to speak. You got Yellow Flash, Tug Guy. These guys are fascinators. They say things that people want to hear. I just went, when that umbrella guy was talking earlier, I just kind of went like this, because this is the way I work and listen to his channel. So I almost forgot that this was my channel. I'm listening to that umbrella guy talk. It's so cool that these guys come over here and spend some time, share their wisdom, share their ideas, share their funniness, their humor with you guys here on this channel. Now, that's what they're doing for me. That's what they're doing for ComicsGate. What exactly does this gentleman offer us? What do we get in exchange for giving him a massive amount of exposure? What is he offering except to tease and torment Mike Miller and be disrespectful to my friends? Being disrespectful to my friends ain't going to get you anywhere near me. It isn't. It isn't going to get you. And by the way, agreeing with that guy isn't going to get you anywhere near me. If that's what you're trying to do, if you're just trying to piss me off and make me dislike you intensely, and not want to help you ever, and not ever give you any attention or any help, insulting Mike S. Miller, good start.
Who are you talking about? I feel a little.
Well, I don't want to talk. I don't want to mention the name, but they're you can find it pretty quick if you sit there and look at Mike Mike gets into fights with people. Mike
he likes to his Twitter is pretty entertaining.
Yeah, he likes
to
to
check
mix
it
it
out right
up.
now and get caught up.
It's not something that I advise. You know, I've told him over and over again, and I just like I told Ben Hennessy, I was like, stop arguing with these people. Stop arguing. Stop lowering yourself.
I'm with Ethan on this. I think this is whole punching up, punching down thing. We're always punching down because we're awesome.
Yeah, there's nowhere to punch but down.
Yeah, nowhere to punch but down. So let it lie.
Let it lie, and let's talk about what we're doing. You know, look, Mitch just made $165,000 on a single comic book. You know, it's like you guys, if you work, if you talk positive, if you inspire people, if you excite people, you know, you're going to do well too. There's no reason to argue with people telling you that you can't do well when you can. You know, you can be a part of this movement. You can save something that's good about comics, and you can do your own comic. You can own your own comic. You can control your own destiny. Why argue with people about that?
Well, I think
it's manifestly true.
We've used this analogy of being pioneers or homesteaders or whatever, or frontiers people building a little town, right? And so if you're the second or third or fourth wave of people to come into the town, you're expected to offer some type of product or service and participate in that community, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the people that offer the product or the service and put their heart and soul into it and believe in the principles of the town, of the community, they're going to prosper. They're going to do well.
Yeah. Look at Ben Jones. I have a little bit of a man. Ben Jones is now one of my best friends.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's Mitch Breitweiser right there, and I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard this guy. That's why I popped in. I thought he had some smart things to say.
It's awesome. Yeah, you're going to be. I'm going to add you to the. Could you guys add him to the, or do I have to do it? I'll add you to the private room so that you can get the link whenever I send it out.
Okay.
And join us. Yeah, you're fantastic. This other guy, no, I have no use. It's nothing personal. And this other guy, I'm looking at right now, who just, people send me this stuff, and I'm just like, what? Let me see if I can find it. This guy's like, hey, we can, Ethan can deny it till he's blue in the face, but he ignores some of us. I ignore most of you. I imagine there are thousands of people that are launching indie comics, and I have to be selective to some degree. The reasons for why I choose people to come on the show are probably just as random as Jack Parr, Johnny Carson, why he chose the Smothers Brothers, Bill Cosby. It's like, I shouldn't have said Bill Cosby. But all, these other guys who got their start, Jim Henson, on these shows, they're all talented. They're all talented people. But, for every Jim Henson, I'm sure there were 50,000 puppeteers that didn't get on the Johnny Carson show. And thus, why? I don't know. It's just not fair, I guess. But it doesn't help at all to get into an argument with somebody who is a heartfelt brother of this, of this little rodeo here. Mike S. Miller, everyone loves him. Everyone loves Mike. Mike does these live streams, and I don't know if it's good or bad. I didn't know at first, but Mike does these live streams where he puts his heart on his sleeve, and he talks about his real Christian beliefs, which to me bores the hell out of me. But people like it. And then also beyond that, he talks about his own family circumstances, and he talks about some very personal things about what his family's going through that really draw people to him and make people feel like they care about him and can relate to him, and all of these things. And then for some dude to come out of the woodwork and then insist that he's got a place at the table here while he is bashing, our brother.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It can't happen. It's not the way to go about it. You owe him an apology. You owe a few people apologies, and then come at us from a different angle. How about that? I'm reachable. Just because I don't answer all of my messages doesn't mean that it's not worth continuing to try. Ben, did you try to get me before?
Yeah, I tried to get you before, and then people kept coming to my streams or when I was on another stream telling me, "Oh, you should be on Ethan's show. You really need to." So, like what I did last night, I have some of my Asgardian fans. I told them I was like, "Okay, here's what I need you to do," because I knew more than likely you were getting an ass load of DMs per day. So I was like, "Okay, I need all you guys to send in, just send in to them that you want Ben Jones on your show." And I had John Malin send it to you. And I was like, okay, that'll be a way that I can at least get notice in the pile of stuff that you're getting. You're not the only one that I've sent stuff to and I've gotten little to no response from. So, I mean, I'm not going to single you out. There was others. I just got on Ingleting's show last night, in which I had sent him stuff numerous times. But you guys get a lot of stuff every day. So I know I'm getting into the pile. So I have to find a way to get to the top of the pile, however, which is the best way without looking like I'm trying to look for a handout, because I wanted to be on this show to say my piece and to say where I was coming from. But I wasn't going to quote unquote bend the knee, as they like to say around here. I would just want to
say that. I don't want.
I don't know. I know it's weird. I don't know. These guys are weird.
So odd. So I'm looking at your message here. It looks like you did come at me July 14th, 2018. I didn't notice. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And then you hit me up last night at 1:30 because people were talking about you on my stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, oh yeah, I don't know anything about that Asgard guy, but tell him to hit me up. And so you did. Boom. And I said, hey, you're that Asgard guy. Cool. He said, yep, that's me. I said, are you down with ComicsGate? Yeah, I'm pretty much down with ComicsGate. Have been for a while. John Malin recommends me. I said, oh, yeah. John told me about you. You want to come on ComicsGate Live? He said, sure, give me the time. And then I didn't even give him the time. I just shot him a link like 5 minutes later, and boom, here he is. And that's kind of how it happens. I mean, it's like, and you got to give me a chance to get to know you a little bit as well and see if you fit in around here with the other guys. If you want to come in here and start wilding and picking fights with people, then you're not going to last.
Exactly.
This isn't ComicsGate. This is just a show called ComicsGate Live. That's the thing that we need to stress. This isn't ComicsGate. This is just my YouTube channel. So, you not being on this doesn't mean you're not ComicsGate. It just means you're not on the show.
All of us are going to be doing live streams in the bit together, one-on-ones. Join any of us, I think.
Look at this ridiculousness. I can't. People sending me these like crazy. ComicsGate is not comics criticism. It's a hate group targeting marginalized creators. Oh, when do we do that, guys? When are we going to target marginalized creators?
I bet you $100 a journalist wrote that.
I don't know who wrote it, but it's all in caps, so it's a mentally ill person. Are we? When are we going to get together? We got to. Is that tonight where we target the marginalized creators?
Oh God! Yeah, we're all don our hoods. You guys got your white hoods. I just sort mine.
They need a better word, because every time I hear that, I imagine like someone rubbing them down with butter. And I know how you feel about butter, man.
Honestly, marginalized.
I hate that word, marginalized.
Don't get me started on that.
Don't get me started. Because everybody in here is marginalized.
Seriously,
because
everyone to any extent is marginalized in some case.
Yeah.
Another.
Mm-hmm.
So
these people, the first thing they see with anybody is, okay, what do they got? Are they disabled? Are they? What's their race? What's their sex? That's all they care about.
Yeah, it's all a dandy politics.
I mean, look at that. Look at that Crunchyroll story, right? They had a whole trailer for that stupid High Garden garbage. They didn't talk about the show really at all. The whole thing was like, we got women making it. These are
so diverse
women in the writers' room.
Everybody's
marginalized. It's identity politics.
That was this great
thing with these people.
There's this great video made by Nips. She's an artist, right? And she's been attacked because for cultural appropriation or for misgendering people, stupid reasons, right? And she had a really good take on that promo. She said that there's a lot of good stuff in that cartoon that they could have shown off, like the background art, all this cool stuff, maybe the characters, but they did not show any of that. Instead, they talked about the creators. She said that as a side video, people wouldn't mind it so much, but this is the main promo video, the only promo video that they had of this cartoon. Why would anyone want to watch it? Like, it's like saying, watch our thing, it's good, but they're not actually showing you how it's good. They're just saying, well, it's got women in it. Okay, like, how is that a selling point? It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, they try to, slice and divide so much, I mean, like Ethan said, we're all marginalized. I am the only registered Neanderthal American here. All you humans have been bashing me and my people for hundreds of thousands of years now, but I don't complain. I don't complain, right? We're just all one creators group.
Yeah, we don't discriminate against Neanderthals over here.
Exactly. I'm the only one. Hey, let me ask you this, mainstream comics. Do you have any other registered Neanderthal Americans on the census and in the Florida blood transfusion system? I don't think so. ComicsGate does.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. Let's take a break. It's 3:30. We're going to be back on tonight, obviously, for a bigger ComicsGate live, probably around 9 or 10. Obviously, everyone here is going to be invited. Let me just check and make sure I got all the super chats spoken aloud. That is part of the gig here. Preach it, Ben. Everyone loves Ben Jones.
Yeah.
Rhaegar Targaryen, 499. Rules for radicals. Number 5, ridicule, the most potent weapon. Number 8, keep the pressure on. Number 11, push negatives hard enough it will stick. Don't let SJWs trick you. So let me repeat that again. Let's remember this. This is for real. There's a book called Rules for Radicals. Right. And it teaches people how to discredit movements like this. And that's, believe me, these guys have all read it and they're utilizing these strategies. Number 5 is ridicule. Like, exactly. Exactly.
The dying cat.
Ridicule is the most potent weapon. We can use it too. Okay, so that's fine. Just ridicule. Number 8, keep the pressure on. So they're not going to stop until I relaunch Cyberfrog on Wednesday, and then they're going to stop. Number 11, push negatives hard enough, it will stick. So they're going to keep talking about this and that. Now, we can't help them fan the flames of their allegations. They're going to trick people. We're not going to fix this. Everyone is going to have a different opinion. Normal people who listen to this show and who actually interact with ComicsGate know the truth. They know that this is all a bunch of lies, and because of that, they will hate SJWs for what they're saying.
Here's a good reason to hate SJWs. You know, there's this journalist. Her name is Aaron B. But she just tweeted this thing out. It's actually really pissing me off. Mind if I read it?
Go ahead.
Yeah. She tweeted out, and this is about Jacksonville's shooting, by the way. She said, "It's frustrating that none of the coverage I've seen of the Florida shooting has mentioned Gamergate and the violent tendencies of some gamers. One reporter did suggest that the shooter had career stress, though. Roll eyes emoji." And then people are replying. They're like, "What? Are you blaming video games?" She's like, "I'm not blaming the video games. I think blaming the games is a bullshit idea." Oh, good for you. I never said that. I'm blaming the gamers. Like, she's blaming the gamers for one crazy lunatic shooting a place up. Like, you know how many people play video games? It's like 100 million people play video games. Oh yeah, it's all video gamers, all to blame for this one fucking shooting. And you know, this is a long spurt fest. Whole tweet thread is replying to people saying that gamers are dangerous. Gamergate showed that gamers are dangerous and they're all misogynist and they want to kill women. And this is an example of Gamergate. What are you on about, lady?
The funny thing about the journalist was the shooter was a far alt-left individual.
Yep, anti-Trump.
Oh,
and here she is, far alt-left. Yeah, he called Trump supporters Trump retards or Trump tarts. Well, that was his response.
All the people that were there that night, because a lot of people stayed down at the landing. The people that were talking to my uncle said that there was just the biggest trigger was there was a lot of bullying, racial, political, sexual bullying in the facility.
That makes a lot of sense because, I mean, they're the ones that can't take any of that shit. And also, didn't like one of them go to a baseball field and shoot a bunch of senators or something? They're the ones shooting everybody. Like, I'm more scared of these far leftists getting a hold of a gun or something. Like, you never hear of a Trump supporter doing this shit.
Nope.
These Antifas and all these weirdo.
They turn on each other.
Hair.
In Portland recently, there's this actually a real live video of these guys. They're attacking a guy who appears to be carrying an American flag. They assume that he's a Trump supporter. He's actually one of them. He's Antifa also. He's not part of their group. So they beat him up. They take a club and they bash his head in. And you know, he was hospitalized for that. He had required like 13 stitches or something because they thought he was a Trump supporter, all because he was carrying an American flag. This is how rabid these people are. I mean, just today, FDNY, right? The ambulances, 5 of them, got defaced by an Antifa guy who wrote Nazi pigs on each of them. He vandalized ambulances. Like, oh yeah, these paramedics are Nazis. Okay, it makes so much sense. Insane.
Hey, Medicare weighed in on the anus gate situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Medicare just tweeted out, Ethan should take the pics and mail them to the co-writer's mother. Co-writer, he means the artist, the guy who sent the pictures. Mother with a note saying, "Tell your son I'm flattered, but sadly I'm not single at the moment." So that's Medicare's idea. Okay. Yeah. Look. Oh, let me get back to this. So this is it. Don't let the SJWs trick you. That's you know, this is the thing, guys. So just rise above it. Let's be funny. Let's be happy. Happy Warriors.
Heck yeah, you guys are right.
Chaos Risen, thanks for $4.99. Dang, man, Ben is able to say what we're all thinking. I'm a big fan of Ben's work, but I'm a massive fan of his ability to keep it real. Yeah, that's great. Chaos, again, I used to have a low T count, but my doctor prescribed listening to Ben Jones. Thanks, Ben. And now able to be a monster in the bedroom. You don't have to tell Ben that. I mean, you know, cut that to yourself. Rhino 4563, $2. Bought Asgard #0 from Amazon. Love Ben's work. Oh, so Asgard is available on Amazon. Is that right?
Yes, the 0-issue prologue book is on Amazon currently. And if you don't want to go there, just wait for the Indiegogo. It will be as a tier to get that book as well.
Well, it's good to know. But if you can't wait, go to Amazon right now and look up Asgard #0 by Ben Jones. Chael Roberts, thanks for $10. Hey guys, I have an upcoming comic called Guardians of Erlof, a fantasy story set in a fantasy world. Doing my part to add to ComicsGate. Looking forward to Graveyard Shift. Cool. Well, you know, send it my way. I'll try to see it. You know, I'm telling you, there are 25 messages in my filtered inbox right now. So I'm trying my best, guys. Some of you are frustrated because you're sending me stuff and I don't see it. That is, are you on camera right now? Mm-hmm. You might be on camera. Can you guys see Anne?
No, I can't see her.
Did they see me?
Yeah, they could see you.
With my hair.
For a second
there.
Now she went to the side. Go see. Yeah, send it my way. I know people are frustrated because they don't necessarily, you know, get the attention that they're looking for. But you know, hang out. You know, you'll get it. You'll get it soon, I guess. I mean, keep trying. Be persistent. And with that, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna call it quits for a little while.
I just got here.
Oh, hey, we're just talking about you. No, we'll be back.
That's why we're quitting, Mike.
We'll be back on.
Hey, actually, before you guys leave, are any of you on a MacBook?
I am.
Do you have a camera?
Yeah, I have an internal camera.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out because this was working on my my other video streaming, but
you might need some drivers. You might need some drivers.
Use it on here. No, I mean it worked like on a
PC.
The Facebook video,
yeah,
but for some reason it's.
Well, then it's not the computer. It has to be at the application layer, whatever app.
Yeah.
Just
I think
right.
Yeah, settings. You know, it like hover your mouse over and there's a little icon that looks like a gear. Click on that, and you should be able to select your camera.
That has to.
Yep. Oh, and there's a little tiny update about the shooting. They found out that the shooting suspect, I'm calling him suspect, he underwent psychiatric treatment. He, this guy's mentally ill. Really, really, really mentally ill. Actually.
That explains why he was a Democrat.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The guy looked out of his mind. You know, I think that's the most we can really pin to the guy. He looked crazy.
Absolutely not a stretch. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a mental health issue, and people trying to blame, pin it on video games and pin it on lack of gun control, everything but the dude himself. Oh my God, it's frustrating talking to these people. Like they got their ideologies and their pet peeves. They're like, oh, I hate Trump, so it's Trump's fault that this happened. No, it's not.
Was he a player? Was he a player in this?
He's one of the players. Yeah.
Here's what
I think you took somebody who's highly mentally unstable and you put them in an environment where it's a lot of pressure, a little taunting, right, back and forth, and then they just lost it. I mean, this person had no business being anywhere near a gun. That's for sure. I don't know.
People, they preach a gospel of dehumanization. I mean, at the end of the day, two people died, plus the gunman killed themselves. And the first thing that I see within minutes is, blame Gamergate, blame ComicsGate, or somehow attach it. These people are awful
you could
human
be
beings.
You could be like Tess Fowler and make it all about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the public
there's
knows.
a conversation going on right now that's very interesting. Tess Fowler stuff that's talking about it.
And you guys talk about that like Umbrella Guy, and I think it's great. And that's how the public knows that these people are completely agenda-driven ideologues, and
Yeah, I think that's the difference between coverage and arguing with these people. We've been talking about that. You engage their own words, you use their own words. We don't even have to talk to them. They're so awful. Let them talk for themselves. And
yeah, we'll just cover it so the normies know.
We should all end the stream while Ethan's gone.
Oh, Ethan left.
He comes back. He comes back, and there's nobody there.
It's still talking.
Too late.
Still live.
Too late.
There we go.
All right, guys.
Do I look better? Because I got a 1080p camera now.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks better.
You do look good.
Nice. I'm not all fuzzy anymore.
No, you're no longer in the smoky room.
Yeah, you're not a little.
See my wrinkles
there.
You're gonna have to pop that pimple, Mike.
All right, so we are going to be back on probably around 9 or 10 tonight, and we'll continue this. Amazing discussion. We got a lot to talk about. This is just crazy. We're in just the heart of this. Is the storm of ComicsGate right now. I mean, it really is tremendous.
The worst of the worst that you guys have seen over 2 years.
Yeah. This is the worst the ComicsGate's ever been, in my opinion. I mean, just because we're showing strength, and the stronger we get, the more they're going to try to knock us over, and they can't. And I don't really care. I don't care. I think it's fun. Here's the thing. It's really scary when you're dependent on SJWs, when they have power. When you're self-employed, you're just doing your own thing. It is, not a big deal at all. Not a big deal.
You don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need them. We don't care. We just don't care.
They're not your boss. They're not the boss of you.
And they can't get your boss because you are the boss.
Right.
That's right.
That is, that is.
Well, the customer is the boss, and going after the customer just looks terrible, and that's part of what's going on. So the more we succeed, the more the customer is the boss, the more they will go after the customer, and the more friendly people they'll send our way. And then we'll send them on their way with happy, great comic books.
Exactly. Let them come after the customer. That's the smartest thing they can do. I mean, that's how.
The dumbest thing they can do is the smartest thing they can do for us.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love it. I'm a customer. Like I said, I've passed hundreds of dollars, and I've gone this way. I spend my money a different way, and that's fine. Let them do it.
All right, I'm gonna get a pie.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Medicare's account is suspended on Twitter. When did that happen? Just now?
Again?
It's weird. He just
it's gone. Just now. Yeah, just now.
Whoa! What did he do wrong?
I don't know. He was always pretty moderate. I mean, at least within the boundaries of the guidelines at TUS. I don't know.
He'll be back.
I hope so.
Creepy. All right. Well, he just made a comment about me, so I that sucks. All right, guys. We will be back later tonight. We'll see you then. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Bye.